Marauders of Windfall, Level 2 Daggerheart Adventure, available for free from Darrington Press. And we have our players here, starting with Chris, who's playing Melvin. So, Chris, go ahead with Melvin.
Okay, yeah, I'm Melvin Throckmorton, and if anyone thinks that these great adventurers I'm with are the greatest heroes in the world, it's me. I realize I'm not as powerful as the rest of you, but that's okay. I'm a great sidekick, and I will cheer you on, and I know more about you guys than you know. And right at the beginning of the session, you all get a hope, because I'm cheering you on.
Yeah.
So all give yourselves a hope right now.
So you can track these resources any way you want. You can track them in Daggerheart Nexus. You can track them on a sheet of paper. If you, I think, Alt and double-click your token, you'll see a list of your various attributes, and you can track them there. The only one that I want to make sure you track in a way that's on your token, that's visible to the players, is your hit points. That way the other players at the table will have an idea if you're starting to get injured. And you can do that in addition by just click on your token. There'll be a number in a red circle in the top left. You can click on that number and change it right there.
And so shouldn't we have starting hope?
Sorry, which circle are we using hope for? Green?
So there is no circle for hope.
Oh.
You can just track that on a sheet of paper. Yeah, you do start with 2 hope, and actually now you start with 3 hope.
3 hope.
3 hope. Everyone's got 3 hope.
And another thing that happens at the start of the session is it says that I choose a number between 1 and 12. Whenever I roll that number on a duality die, I gain a hope or clear stress. I can change this number when I finish a long rest. So I am going to choose the number 2, which is otherwise known as the Halfling 1.
Okay. Very good.
And things I can do. Let's see. I can help you guys. So if you guys fail a check, I can maybe help you out with that. If I do the help ally thing, I should get a bonus if I spend additional hope on it. If you need to speak to somebody who's dead, I can do that too.
Oh.
And if you guys need any kind of lore or knowledge, that's my thing.
Very good. Our next character is Andrew playing Panthea. Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay. So Panthea is a sorcerer. She is a half-elf, which I think I've changed her to when they added the multiple mixed ancestry thing to play around with that. So she's a Wanderborn sorcerer. She is she's fairly young, in her early 20s, I guess, but wise beyond hers, and her persona is kind of the Wandering Weather Witch. So she controls air and wind magic. And in terms of things that she can do, I mean, I can throw magic with my staff, and because she's a nomad, she has a pack of useful things. So once per session, I can spend hope to reach into a pack and pull out a common item that is useful to the situation. So,
Nice.
So that's a thing that I can do. I can make illusions, and I can sense magic in people and objects, which is helpful because personality-wise, she's very curious about all types of magic, whether it be dark or bright. So she's fairly personable, but kind of quiet and impatient. Essentially, she'll be quiet if somebody else is talking, but if nobody's doing anything, she'll probably do something impulsive.
Very good. Next we have Ruin. Go ahead, Teos.
Ruin is a bunch of driftwood that has kind of all glommed together, and then all these growths of mushroom spore-like things have created a colony, binding it together and giving it life and form. Ruin is a druid, and strongly affected by the seasons. So what season is it, Tom?
You can actually, there's nothing required, so you can pick for us. What is it?
Then, it is fall, and this has me in a bit of a somber mood, because change is coming, change is here, change is in progress, and so I'm a bit of a down note, like it's one of those things you guys have to pump yourselves up after you talk to me at the campfire.
That's a good thing we have Melvin to counterbalance.
I love talking to Ruin. He's the greatest.
periodically things fall off of me because it's fall, and so I feel sad as little bits of me come off and die. Auxiliary plants, shut down and die. But yeah, I do enjoy seeing the world in its change and stewarding it through this change, and that's what I'm here to do. I do have the ability to do some healing. I can sometimes counter the fall season for brief periods of time. I can bring some fire from the storms I've witnessed on the ocean side, and I can transform myself into creatures, usually so they will die. But I can do so for some time as well.
Okay. And then next we have Will playing Theron.
Yeah, it's actually pronounced Theron. That's all right. I'm Theron. Theron am orc warrior, I suppose. I ain't too particularly imposing, but I brought a sword with me and brought my trusty armor. You can see all the scratches on it and such. It's kind of implies that I guess I've been in a tussle or two. I've got a couple of neat abilities such as swing sword, also swing sword harder. Every so often I hear the call of the Slayer. As all of you are getting filled with hope, I guess I'm getting a little angrier as time goes on, and swinging a little harder that way. If a unreasonable type gets up next to me, I do have the ability to take an attack of opportunity if they try to walk away or run away, as they often seem to do. Of course. I don't have all the amazing magical abilities as you folk, but I think I'm pretty useful. I like to think. I do have this ability called a soldier's bond that's required in a long rest. I was gonna ask. I'm gonna break character now. Tom, I've got this ability called a soldier's bond. I don't know if we're gonna take a long rest, but it does give me the ability to say, like, basically at the start, like after a long rest, I can say, like, hey, one person gets 3 hope.
Yeah, in fact, you and they get 3 hopes, so you can do that right at the start. Once everyone finishes their introduction, just let me know who you like. Go up
I like
to and
best.
compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I already rolled randomly, so when we get to that, I've already got it ready. But yeah, so I got it. Okay, back into Theron. Yeah, mainly, just, I'm the more physical type. I ain't too imposing. I ain't too bright. But you need a handy sword. I'm the one.
That is
That's
Theron.
Excellent.
Last but not least, lost in the crowd, Little Trill, played by Aaron.
Yeah, so Trill is pretty much as this picture displays her, very tiny, kind of child-sized, and has decided to lean into that. They have escaped a bad situation. They were created by a mad scientist to manage the mad scientist's dungeon. And while doing so, actually befriended one of the prisoners who was a bard, and that person kind of taught them their abilities. And one thing that she can do at the beginning is rally everybody, so everybody can hold on to a D6 that they can use for a roll in the future, an action, reaction, or to add to a damage roll, or clear that much stress.
Sweet.
So everybody keep that in mind. And Will is happy to be here and heal people if they need it, or cast magic if they need it, and play songs if they need it.
So
which I'll do various buffs or.
So I put a little wing icon on each of your tokens that'll track your rally die. So you can use it like Trill said. To anyone with rally die can spend it to roll it, adding the result to an action roll, reaction roll, damage roll, or clear stress. Doesn't say anything special. So in general, you have to decide all the dice you're going to roll before you make an action roll or before you make a reaction roll. So you'll need to make sure you announce it before you make a roll. And it's a D6, an extra D6 you'll get on a roll. Okay, that is the party. So, Theron, who you want to do the soldier's bond with?
Yeah, I rolled randomly, and so I guess Theron walks up at some point the night before to Panthea, says, "Hey, I got a question. I got a question for you. What are you good at?" And then I ask Panthea what they're good at.
Oh, she will say, "I control the wind." Amongst others.
Well, that's useful. All right. Well, that's fantastic. That's gonna be super useful. Holy crud! So like, if we get like too hot outside, you're gonna be able to kind of give us a nice cool breeze. Is that downplaying what you do? Did I make a?
I mean, if that's what's required, sometimes comfort is what is called for.
All right. And now Theron's mightily embarrassed, but overall, through Theron's enthusiasm, you get 3 hope.
Yeah, so you and also Theron, you get 3 hope as well. So Theron and Panthea are starting with 6 hope each. The rest of you starting with 3 hope. Can you imagine a party of all soldiers and all halflings?
Yeah.
I'd ponder that.
I mean, you would eventually get redundant once you got above 6, right?
Yeah, you're already at 6, so yeah. Okay, so that is your party. So this adventure is taking place on an airship, a royal airship, on which you have booked passage. You're traveling to a place called Kankozan Jags, and you're going there to retrieve a magical component for the Whitefire Arcanist. None of these characters are the same as the first adventure, but the Whitefire Arcanist had sent those previous characters off to a tower in the forest, and then realized after they had left to go get something for the Whitefire Arcanist that they needed another component, which is at the Kankozan Jags. And so that's why you're on this ship at the behest of an individual called the Whitefire Arcanist, who is a powerful user of magic in the forests of the Sablewood. And why do they need this component? It's because they're trying to re-enchant a protective stone that protects a nearby city. And that stone has lost its magic, and if it doesn't get repaired before enemies find out, the city is in danger. So that's the stakes. I'm going to kind of track for you some notes in case you want to know how these weird things are spelled. You meet the commander of the airship. The commander's name is Augustus Kane, and he invites you onto the ship. You find out that the crew of the ship, let's see. Yeah, the Windfall's normal security component had been recently reassigned, and so it's lacking its security, and the captain has invited you on board to travel, free of room and board, and instead you'll be serving as the ship's security for the journey. The journey to the Jags, which should take about a week on foot or horseback, will only take you a couple days aboard the freighter. So much better. The adventure begins with you on the ship. It's soaring through the sky like the most graceful of birds. Its sails are billowing as sailors are climbing and swinging along in between the 3 upward-facing masts and the 2 that emerge from the ship's sides. On the foredeck stands Commander Augustus Kane, a broad-shouldered human with a growing reputation for both valor and efficiency. He leads the troops with grace and ease. You are introduced to his first mate, who is a Lieutenant Commander Kaless Surehand. You learn that the ship's magical engine produces a constant low hum, and you learn that low hum comes from the ship's magical engine. It fades from your notice after a few hours, and everything is just wind and sails after that. There's a few other passengers that have come aboard. None of them are helping with security, though, so it's just you. And they're watching. They come and go from the passenger deck below. That includes a common area, a small galley, and your rooms. The sailors have given you a somewhat icy reception, not pleased to have adventurers serving as their security rather than fellow sworn soldiers. And they have established that you're forbidden to go to the engine deck or the hold, which are the 2 decks of the lower part of the ship where they reside. While passengers enjoy the view from the deck, suddenly a huge shadow passes over the ship, momentarily blocking the sun. Another shadow passes overhead. You look up to see gray-scaled, draconic creatures bearing down on the ship. Their jagged maws open, releasing blood-chilling roars as the ship shakes beneath you. One of the wyverns crashes into the foredeck, while the other one drives toward you on the aft deck, their howl ringing fiercely. So, first of all, Melvin, if you'd like to make a knowledge check, this will be free. It won't take any action. I can tell you if you know anything special about wyverns.
All right, and now if I want to apply experience to this, it requires a hope, right?
Yeah, you'd spend one of your hope, and you need to decide before you roll.
All right, so I will apply. I'm a librarian, +3.
Okay.
So I might have read about wyverns in a library book.
Very good.
Okay, so add +3 to this.
There you
and
go.
I rolled with hope.
Yep.
Woohoo! So I gain a hope immediately.
Yep.
And so 17.
Okay, so Wyverns, huge scaled beasts with powerful wings and crushing legs. They hunt, they smash, they scatter their foes. They just rely on brute force. There's no special immunities that they have that you have to warn your friends about. But you do warn your friends that their bite is crushing. It will pierce right through their armor. These are very dangerous foes. So,
well, it won't pierce through your armor because you'll never get hit because you're awesome.
Let me reveal the ship for you.
Choosing to believe you.
But the crew better watch out. Very dangerous.
Okay, you guys are on the aft castle. So you can grab your tokens and move them over to the aft castle. The wyvern is coming from the southwest toward you. There's another wyvern in the front quarter of the ship, but the crew of the ship is handling that, so you don't have to worry about helping out with that. You just need to make sure you can kill this wyvern quickly. And if it goes down, then maybe you can go help the ship if they're not done with their fighting their wyvern. We'll be using this action tracker here, right there for us. So the ship has got an aft castle that's about 10 feet above the main deck. It's got 2 stairs down to the main deck. There is a cargo loading area over here and stairs down into the lower decks of the ship. And then there's a forecastle. There is rigging all around the ship, and that you can actually use to your advantage. As I reveal this over here, there is an environment card for the ship, or environment stat block that they have. Basically, there's many ways that you can gain a height advantage on the ship. You know, jumping up the mast, climbing up the sails, climbing up the ropes. But it does take an agility roll to do that. And as such, that'd be an action as well. And it's a 14 on the roll to get up there. Once you're up there, you'd have advantage on any attack you make on anything below you. Let's see here. Teos. I'm going to rune over there, but just set up a rune wherever you want to have him at. And let's see, the first person that's going to react to this, Panthea or Theron, either one of you want to go first?
Actually, I'd like to go first because my thing is going to empower others.
Go for it.
Who feels like they would like to take advantage of the height thing? I assume Theron might.
Sure.
Theron's most fightery. Anybody else who feels like they benefit from being up? Does anybody shoot things?
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely be looking to take advantage of that rigging for sure.
Okay. So Panthea will summon a gust of wind, and so I can do 2 actions, right? Or are we doing one at a time? Sorry, I'm still figuring this out.
We're doing one at a time, unless others say it's okay to do multiples.
Okay.
If they're quick and easy, then I'm sure they'll be.
Melvin thinks it's okay for you to take 100 actions.
So essentially, I will use my wall walk spell, where I actually, can I link this somehow? Is there a way to link this? Oh, there we go. You've already done it for me.
Yeah, if you click your token, you can click any of the buttons that appear across the top of the screen to make the text
So
appear.
remember how you had to make a check to walk up the things? You don't, because the wind carries you up.
Oh, awesome.
Nice. Yeah, so Panthea spends 1 hope, and until the end of this session, you can walk up those rigging, no problem. That's awesome, Panthea.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Furthermore,
I'm floating 2 inches off the ground.
I'm double checking Panthea. Wall walk, spend a hope. So I do not believe that uses an action, because you didn't roll, and it did not say use an action. So no action token goes on the tracker.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. What would be the range of my dual staff?
Dual staff's about 100 feet, I believe, on the dual staff. Yeah, 100 feet.
I will just point it at the wyvern and shoot it.
All right. So now you're taking an action, so you want to drag an action token over, and then decide if you're using anything special with your attack.
Let's not. Let's just try it right.
All right, go for it.
Okay, sorry. How do I roll?
Okay, so you click your token, and then you want to make sure you have unchecked alphabetically sort token actions so they kind of appear in order. Near the far right are all your attacks. Dual staff is the third from the end, basically. So you just click that dual staff -100 feet button, and it'll roll your attack for you.
There it is.
There you go. So that's a 23 with hope. So you get to add a hope, and you do 7 magical damage to the wyvern. Now the wyvern's got thresholds, and 7 is above its minor threshold, but below its major, I think it is. And so it does 1 hit point of damage to the wyvern.
So I will do. So I'm still figuring out the character.
Oh, no problem.
First time playing.
We're all figuring it out.
No worries at all.
First time caller,
So,
long time listener.
Because I'm an elemental sorcerer, I can challenge. I can spend a hope and basically add 2 to the roll or 3 to the damage. So can I add 3 to the damage, or would I have had to do that before?
No, you can. Let's see.
This is.
So you're doing the channel raw power feature?
No, it's my elemental origin feature.
Oh, the elemental foundation. Before making an action roll, spend a hope, and then you get that thing. So in the future, do it before, but this time we'll let you do it now.
Okay.
And
Because
if you want to do,
it doesn't say that on my card. It just says, additionally, you can spend a hope and describe how you control over this element helps an action roll you're about to make. Or about to make, okay.
About to make, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool, got it.
okay, so you actually did, instead of doing 7 damage, you did 10 damage. 10 damage puts it over the moderate threshold, the major threshold, so that does 2 damage to that thing.
Nice.
Perfect, done.
Okay, and then as part of that action, you can also move up to close range, which is 30 feet. So if you want to move somewhere, you can.
No, I don't be next to that thing.
Okay, and we got 1 action spent on the action tracker, and Penthea's gone. I'll just kind of track that. Who's gone? Theron?
I got a question actually. Since Panthea's ability allows me to be able to fly up with go up there without having to make a roll, does that mean it's no longer an action to climb up there?
That's right.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah, you
All
won't
right, well,
burn
now I'll take a move, and I'm trying to get to a nice upper place in the rigging. So if that wyvern kind of comes down onto the deck,
Mhm.
and I could attack it from above. So I like to imagine that Theron's been kind of hanging over the edge, feeling pretty sick because we're way high up in the air, And he starts to float a little bit off the ground to the wind, pushing him. He's like, he's like grabbing rigging and such, trying to get to a much more advantageous position while also trying not to puke.
All right, and the wind's actually holding you aloft up there, so you'll be able to wield your great sword with 2 hands, and you find purchase up there. The dragons, I'm going to spend a fear, and actually have the dragon act now. So it's going to go.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
If I don't see myself in the initiative counter, should I try to hit the initiative button again?
Oh, let me double check your initiative buttons. Maybe I have them messed up. Yeah, try it again.
Press mine.
Interesting.
Be sure you have your token selected when you click it.
I'm using the macros, so I don't think the macros show up unless my token is selected.
I will add
Not
you.
working.
I will add you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong person. I had a little error there. Now it should be going in there if you hit a 1.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
And 0 is correct. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to spend 1 of these fear. So the fear goes away down to 2 fear. And I'm going to spend this action to have the dragon come swooping in. And it's going to come right by you, Theron. Therefore, you're going to be able to take an attack of opportunity as it's going by you.
Oh, wonderful. All right, so hold on, I'm going to find that on my... There it is. I guess as it tries to go by, I roll with hope, right? Because I got a hope.
Okay, so let's look at attack of opportunity. It might be that it's a reaction roll, which you don't gain hope and
It
fear
is.
for.
Son of a bee sting.
So,
That's okay.
But that is a 16, which is enough to get by the difficulty of the wyvern. And choose
primary-
1 or 2 on a crit. Okay, so what do you want to do? Want to stop it? So it's diving towards the deck. Going to probably do some damage to your friends. You could stop it. You could deal just your primary weapon damage to it, or you could go down with it.
I'm gonna stop it right
Okay.
there.
You stop
So
it in its
can't get any
tracks.
poke anybody else. Excellent.
And
Awesome.
then it will then do its bite against you. So it gets... there's 2 numbers here, but I roll differently than players, so it's confusing. I should probably change that to only 1 number. So I'm only to get in the 6, not 6 plus 13 plus 3. Because I roll a
Okay,
d20, and I roll 2 d20 if I have advantage. And so I got a 9 total. Comparing that to Theron's evasion of 9, that means that'll be a hit for 22 damage. So Theron, you can spend armor if you like to reduce that.
I am. I'm going to do that. And as an orc, whenever I would spend armor, I can roll a d6 for each armor I would do. And if I roll a 6, I don't spend that armor.
Yeah,
I believe
that's
is what
right.
That means.
That's right.
Okay, wonderful. Okay,
And
so
you can spend multiple spots. So how many you want to spend?
And this, I'm so sorry. I did not look. I screwed this up by not looking at what armor does.
Okay, so what you have is you have an armor value of 6. So for every slot you spend, you reduce that 22 damage by 6. And so if you spent 1, you'd get it below your severe threshold. If you spend 12, if you spend 3, you would get it below your major threshold, and you'd have to spend 4 to get it below your minor threshold.
I'm going to spend 3 slots, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And then I'm going to roll 3, 6 to see if I get to keep any of those.
There you go.
All right. Oh yeah, I get to keep one. All right. Yeah, orcs.
So
We get the job done.
So that reduce it down to minor, and so you take 1 hit point. So change your hit points from 0 out of 6 to 1 out of 6. Just click your token, click the red circle with 0 in it, type a 1. There you go. Okay.
And then
You, Wyvern.
can I use my retaliation ability when I take damage from a creature in melee range? I may mark a stress to immediately deal weapon damage to the creature at half proficiency.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to mark a stress as he comes at me, and I kind of shove my sword into towards his maw, so he's biting through the blade. And that is going to be. Oh nope! I hit it on the thing. I hit it on domain. Not the thing. Sorry, I'm Dragonheart Nexus. That's where I hit it, but I'm trying to do 1d10 plus 5.
You can also hit this button here anytime you like to.
Oh, I didn't see the button. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, 6 points. Just 6 points of damage.
6 damage. The Wyvern's minor threshold is 1, so you do 1 damage to him from that.
All right, that's all right. I'll take it.
Okay, so this Wyvern that was descending toward you, Panthea, fast enough that it was going to basically crush you underneath its claws, stops, bites at Theron. Theron's armor protects him somewhat. Back to your guys' turns. Panthea, you've already acted. Theron, you've already acted.
I didn't actually act. I just moved.
You were just moving. That's right, yeah. So Theron, take your action.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut somebody else off. Yeah, I'm going to take my weapon, and I'm going to go ahead and just try to stab that greatsword, big two-handed blow right down into his head.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to roll my attack with greatsword. There it is. Okay, great.
Critical
Crit.
hit.
Nice.
Critical hit.
Okay, so what you get with the critical hit is you get the damage that roll there, 14, plus you get all your dice maximized. So that's another 20. So 34.
Damn,
Oh, wow.
son.
And then also, I think what does being on the rigging do for me?
That gives you advantage, but you automatically hit, so you don't need to roll
Okay,
it.
yeah, so who cares? Yeah. All right, cool. I did 34 points of damage to him.
Yes, you did. That is beyond his
Sweet.
severe threshold, so he's going to take 3 hit points for that.
Woo-hoo.
Oops.
Awesome. But I did not roll with hope, so I don't get to mark a Slayer dice. Okay.
Oh, no, you do. So when you get a crit, you get hope, and you remove a stress.
Okay, so thank you. I'm going to remove a stress, and then instead of putting it in the hope field, I'm going to put it onto my Call of the Slayer ability, which allows me to start storing up like special attack and damage dice.
Okay.
Because my hope is already maxed out, so I'm going to keep track of that in my green.
Okay, there you go. And that was an action.
That's my turn.
That was your
that's
turn.
my action.
Okay, this Wyvern was stopped by Theron, but it's within reach of you guys, so no one's want to go right away, so Ruin, go ahead.
All right. That thing has been stopped. Let's see if we can stop it. And actually, how many are there?
1.
Just the one. Good.
Just the one.
Then I will try to Vicious Entangle it. And let's see. That is a spellcast roll of 12.
12. Its difficulty is 13, so that's a failure with fear.
But I can add that d6, is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's before,
for the bard?
Oh, do you
yeah, you have to
have
do the bard
before?
before, yeah.
I am going to... I don't think... Ruin's too great to ever miss, and I will cast Reassurance. So once per short rest, after an ally attempts an action roll, but before consequences take place, you may offer assistance or words of support. When you do, they may re-roll their dice.
Nice.
Nice. All right. I will try that.
It's a good use.
And I guess I'll go ahead and add the d6 because I would feel very, very terrible if it all failed so quickly. But that does it. I think that's 15 right there.
Okay.
Thank
15
you,
with fear.
friend.
That's a success. You do 2.
I don't need to add the hope to restrain other enemies because it's just there. So, but it is restrained and it takes the damage there, 2 physical.
Okay,
And
that'll
it
do
is,
1 damage to it.
And this is barnacles basically, and Sargasso that's caught on the outside of the ship kind of comes around the edges and writhes upwards and entangles it and holds it fast.
That's awesome.
Whoa!
Trill, your turn. Oh,
Okay.
wait. Before you go, Trill,
Sure.
you rolled with fear. So I should take a fear. And also, let's see. Player rolls with fear. Okay, no, I'm just going to take my actions now. I'm going to take this fear, and I'm going to turn it into 2 actions. So I have 3 actions now. The Wyvern's going to go. The Wyvern is relentless, so on its turn it can activate twice. And it is restrained, so it can't move. It's going to spend one of these actions to like break the barnacles and all that stuff off of it. And then it's going to go ahead and spend an action to... it's going to turn on Theron and bite him. And that is only a 9, but that hits Theron for 11 piercing, Theron.
All right, I'm going to activate 11 piercing, so I'm going to activate an armor to bring that down to my minor threshold.
Okay.
And then I'm going to roll my d6 to see if I get to keep that armor. Nope. All right.
Okay.
Son of a... This thing is big!
And then it'll do 1 more bite, this time lashing out at Panthea, right next to it. Panthea, you're taking a bite for 19 versus your evasion, so that should hit for 15 points of damage. I'm going to move you above it, even though it's kind of...
Yeah.
So that you hit your token.
15 points of damage, so...
So that'd be above your severe threshold. You take 3 hit points. You could spend 1 of your armor to reduce it to just major and take 2 hit points.
Yeah, how many armor would I need to spend? Too many to... I need to get it down by 9.
9, so you could spend 3 armor for that. Actually,
I'll
9 is
spend 1
still...
armor.
You want to spend 1?
I'll spend 1
Okay.
armor.
Okay. So
Quick question.
Go ahead there.
How many times can I use my retaliation reaction ability? Or it just says,
let's see here.
whenever I take damage, I may take stress and deal damage.
Yeah, you can do it as much as you want. It's just limited by how much stress you can take.
I'm gonna do that then. Take this opportunity to do. Yep, there we go.
All right.
15.
There you go. And that would have actually finished it. So Panthea, you would not have got attacked by its next attack.
Oh, excellent. Nice.
Okay, so that would bring to the conclusion this fight, but I want to do something since this is a playtest and I want to kind of see stuff. So keep track of where you're at for all your resources that you use, because this is where you'll be as we go forward. But we're going to do a little bit harder fight as like a dream one of you had the next day about wyverns attacking the ship. And so now we got 3 wyverns coming at you, and basically you're all going to die here. I just want to see how death rules work and that kind of stuff.
That's fair.
So now 3 wyverns are now coming at the ship. We have no fear, no actions. You guys are going to go first. I mean, let Trill go first, and anyone who wants to go, change your initiative, whatever you want.
Okay.
Trill,
How close would I need to get to be within very close?
10 feet for very close.
Okay, so maybe
All your
up
party's
against
within very
the-
close of
Would
you.
that be like 2 squares?
2 squares. Yep.
Okay, so I'll try to move to the edge of the ship.
Okay.
And I want to make one of the wyverns go to sleep. I'm going to cast slumber.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm hoping that will maybe
Yeah,
just make it
That's
plummet
exactly
to
what I'm planning too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'll allow this, Tom, because I don't know if there's any mechanics around it, but rather than actually playing a flute, Trill just has a fake looking flute and then just whistles and it sounds like a flute.
Sure. That sounds good.
So
So good.
she just begins whistling a really soothing lullaby, and it'll be a spell casting roll, which I will cast.
There's
now.
a macro to it. There you go. All
Ah,
right.
hell. That is
11.
low.
So an 11
But
is
it's with hope.
11 with hope. Yeah, you got hope. So you can add your hope, but it did fail.
Sure.
So the wyvern does not go to sleep. That's Trill. Melvin
Oh,
wants
can I
to go.
still move?
Yeah, you can move up to 30 feet total. Go ahead,
Okay,
Melvin.
So that was
All right. Well, Melvin sees what Trill tried to do and is inspired. That's a great idea. Goes there,
white.
and he'll attempt his slumber check.
Okay.
And let's use that D6 Bardic die. So I'm
Nice,
gonna
okay.
Work that off.
That is not built in, so you can just roll it randomly or roll it
Yeah.
extra.
All right, so slumber. Here it is.
Ooh.
I see
That's a success.
21.
Yeah, that's a
and
success.
Plus a
Yes.
d6. So let's make that a 23.
23. That wyvern is plummeting to the ground in a slumber. And let's see, we spent an action for Trill, we spent an action for you.
Splash.
And just to be clear, I didn't. The spell casting really was just. I saw Trill casting a spell, and I'm like, "Are you sure that didn't work?" And then it fell.
Okay, and then finish your move where you want.
And then I'm going to go hide behind Ruin.
Okay.
Save me, Ruin!
Gotcha.
One of the three wyverns will go now. The one to the ship's port side comes rushing down in a deadly dive upon the ship. It spends a stress, moves to a point 100 feet of itself. It attacks all targets in 10 feet of itself.
Whoa.
The attack is a 16, so if that gets by your evasion... Oh, does anyone know? Do I roll that for every target, or do I want to roll for all targets?
Jeremy Cofford hasn't told us yet.
I'll roll for
He doesn't do that anymore.
I'll roll
He
for
learned
every
his lesson.
target. So that was for Ruin. And then we'll use the 17 damage for everyone. But I'll do different attack rolls. And these attack rolls are going to be /R space D20 plus 3. And this will be Melvin.
Hit.
And Trill. And Panthea. Dodged it.
Oh, you missed me.
Yes, it did. Okay, so that's 17 physical damage to the three of you that got hit. And it will knock you prone. And you'll be vulnerable till your next action. And what vulnerable does is it grants advantage to the people that are attacking. Remember, you're tracking this separately, the used resources, because this is just a dream. Because I'm going to kill all of you. I want to see those
So if
I want to see those
Yeah.
depth moves.
Right.
Okay, so does anyone have any question on how to do that? Like Trill, you took 17 damage. Your threshold for severe is 14. So you're going to take 3 hit points unless you lower it with armor.
And I would have to spend 2. If my armor is equal to 2, then I would have to use 2 slots to get it below 14.
Your armor, Trill. For some reason, I thought it was better than 2, but it is only 2. Okay. Yeah. You'd have to use 2 to get to below 14. So you can burn 2 armor slots out of your 6 and take 2 hit
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, I might as well just test it out.
And then click your token. Click the circle with
Yeah.
the 0, type 2.
I'm on it.
And Ruin, how many hit points did you take?
Oh, did I take? I didn't hear my name. Which
Yep.
one was I?
You were the 19 to hit.
Okay.
Oh, no,
So
no. You were the
then-
initial roll. You were a 16 to hit.
Okay. So that would be severe. So I will spend armor. And let's see. Armor reduces it by how much?
Yours by 5, I think.
Okay, so it is the score of it. And I have 6 slots. That's what it is. So let's see. 10 would take it down to a minor.
Mm-hmm.
If I do 2 armor spends. Is that right? I'm doing that right?
I think if it's equal to or greater than major of 7, it's still major. So you have 17, you have to bring it down by more than 10.
It would be to 6 if I bring it down to 10, right?
If you bring it down to just 10, or let's see, it's 17. If you bring it down 10, you'll be at 7. The damage was 17, not 16. 16 was the attack roll.
16, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you spend 3, you
so
get down
then
minor.
I'll just go ahead and use a 3rd slot and
Okay.
just remove it.
Okay.
What is armor for but to use it?
Well, so if you spend 3, you take 1 hit point. If you spend 4, you take 0 hit points.
And take 1 hit point. Yep, that's fine.
Okay. That was that one's first action. Let me drag that over there. And then it gets to activate twice, being that it's relentless. It did its deadly dive already. It's going to do, it spent one stress to do that. And then it's going to do a crushing bite. It's going to pick someone who's vulnerable, which all of you are. So it'll go after its initial target, which is Ruin. It's going to have advantage on this roll since you're prone. I take the higher of the 2d20s. That's only a 14. I think that still hits you. Evasion of 8, yeah. 17 damage for Ruin.
Wow, that's rough. Okay, 17 again.
Yep.
So I'll spend another 3 and use up all my armor.
And I
so
think
take a
the
second
intent
hit
is it marks one of your armor already, so you only get to spend 2.
Oh, okay.
That is part of its crushing bite. So yeah, you can spend 2. Armor slots are all marked. You're still vulnerable until you act. And update your hit points on your token so everyone can see it. That'll be the red circle. So run
Oh yeah,
those.
doing it over on Demiplane. Like,
Yeah, that's the only one I want you to copy over to Roll20.
Yep. So you want me to put the number that I've taken?
Yep.
Cool.
Now
Yep.
everyone wants to go next. Oh, I used up 2 actions.
Yeah.
Any of you have a preference? You guys can work it out who goes next.
So are there 2 that are asleep or 1 that's asleep?
I should mark it.
The
This one to
that's
the
asleep fell below the ship.
yeah, this guy over
And there's
here.
one that hasn't arrived yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I assume it's going to do more of that nastiness. So I want to, when it approaches, I want to do the vicious entangle on it to prevent it from reaching any of us.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to do.
Okay. We'll say you're readied for that. And then Theron.
Theron's gonna swing
Actually-
over on the rigging. Oh, sorry.
I don't know how that works in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if I was ready, but I think the point of fluid initiative is that the moment that it approaches, I would say,
You'd be
here's what I
next.
want to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm just letting you know because we're
Got it.
online and stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever it starts moving, I'm going to do my thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Theron, Panthea, you guys got a preference?
Well, we're starting over, right? So I would enable Theron again, same thing as before.
Oh no, it's the continuation of the
Oh, is
same,
it
so you don't have to do it again.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we were.
I'm just saying, don't track any of these resources that we spend from now on against yourself.
I gotcha. Well, the thing that I have might set it up for Theron to do more damage, maybe. To be within very close range, do I need to be right next to it?
Very close is 10 feet.
Okay, so I'm there.
Mhm.
So Panthea will cast a spell, and some clouds will gather overhead, and you will see that as this wyvern's shadow is kind of on the ground, the shadows of the clouds will like reach out and begin to restrain its shadow. as I
Nice.
cast Shadow Bind. Now, what can I do to make sure that this works? How do I roll better?
Let's see. You're going to be doing a spellcasting roll, so you could use your bardic advantage. You
Okay.
can use, if you have any skills, you can use skills on rolls. So you have, you could say Wandering Weather Witch applies to bringing the weather in. So you could spend a
And I need
hope
to use
to give you a
hope
plus
for
2. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. So,
Okay.
Wandering Weather Witch definitely will apply. I will spend Hope, and so that'll be plus 2. Do I need to call out the that I'm using the D6 ahead of time?
You do. Yep. In fact, you might as well roll
Okay,
it
so
first.
I will use that and the D6 because I want to make sure that this succeeds.
Okay.
Okay, Shadowban. So, does the one do anything bad?
Nothing bad. No, you're up to 14, plus you could add a d6 to that. Plus you could add 2 more. So you're up to at least
Yeah.
16 plus a d6. That will be successful.
Okay.
With fear.
Nice.
And then fear, you get fear. And then action, you get action. And it is now restrained.
Very good. Okay. That was Beth. Yeah. And which one did you restrain? The one on the ground, one by Trill?
Yeah, and how far can I move? Because I don't want to be
About
near
30
it.
feet.
And both of the other ones are asleep, or
The one to the west is
One's
sleeping.
asleep.
One to the southwest is coming at you.
okay? I'm gonna go.
Okay. Then we'll do Theron.
All right. Theron is going to swing on the rigging to basically land on top of this thing.
Nice.
Swinging his weapon, he's screaming, "Never again!" And I'm gonna spend 2 hope on this roll. I'm gonna be drawing off of my experience of never again and incredible strength.
Okay.
So this will give me a +3 bonus to this roll.
Okay.
I'm getting that right? No,
That
sorry,
is correct.
+2 bonus to this roll. Okay,
Yes, you
excellent.
can spend multiple hope to get multiple experiences. That is right.
And then I have advantage because of the rigging.
Yep.
And then I'm not sure what restrain does, if anything, for me, but
Doesn't do anything. It makes them so they can't move.
cool. I love it. We're gonna come down with that great sword. That is gonna be a whoa.
Look at that damage with hope. So you get
Oh
a
my
hope back
God.
too.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna take that hope. I'm gonna immediately apply it to my Slayer's dice. And here's I wanted to use, and this is where it gets tricky because the damage is already rolled. But I was going to use Slayer dice on the damage to add more.
You can add more. Sure, go for it.
And then so here's a question: since I just gained another Slayer die,
Mhm.
can I spend all of my Slayer dice on this, or do I have to spend only the one I had available when I began the attack?
Let us see if it says anything. Make an attack roll. So only what you had available, because it triggers
and
on the
it's-
roll, not on a hit.
Well, it says when you make an attack roll
Or a damage roll. No, you're right. It
Yeah,
triggers on a damage
that's
roll.
what-
So yeah, you can spend them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and spend my 2 Slayer dice, so 2d6.
Okay.
and I'm going to add 9 to that.
Okay,
damage.
so you're up
So
to 34.
34 points of damage to that thing.
34, that is beyond its severe threshold, so it's going to take 3 damage. Oops. 3. I'm always doing my negative because I'm thinking D&D. 3 damage.
Yep. So Theron swings down, comes on top of this wyvern, and then just drives the sword into, like, in between, kind of into its back, in between where the wings are, and he's screaming, never again! And trying to get my allies some chances to maybe get away.
Okay.
That's it. That's my turn.
Nicely done. Oh, boy. I forget if I used an action token for you.
Let's say you
Panthea.
didn't,
I think
and
I did Panthea, I think. So, yeah. Okay. They're going to go. So, Ruin, why don't you go first since you're readied?
Yeah, so once it gets to the edge of the deck,
Okay.
I will do the Vicious Entangle.
All right.
I'll spend a Hope to add +1 to the result from my Nature's Tongue ability. And let's see what happens. There's a 16.
You gain hope, and that's a success.
17 total. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get Hope back. All right, so it takes 4 piercing, and I will restrain it. And then the other one I think is too far away to be restrained, so I'll just stop there. Try to prevent it from doing its thing.
Okay.
And I stand up.
And that was your action. Now they're gonna go. So that one's gonna spend its action trying to break out of the entangling. I'll take its action and do that, and then it'll have enough movement, or then it gets to do its relentlessness. So it comes forward to here and attacks Trill with a bite with advantage because Trill's prone. 13 to hit you, Trill. That gets by your evasion for 19 points of damage. And that's another action.
So I think I can use my rally die to reduce damage. Let me make sure I'm saying that correctly.
You can add it to an action roll, a reaction roll, or damage roll. You can clear stress with it.
Oh, you can clear stress, not
Yeah.
damage. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, we're trying to
Don't feel bad if you die.
see what death
you're
is
gonna
like,
die.
right? Yeah. So I'll take
I
the
want to see what it does,
HP reduce for
how it
now.
works, and all that good stuff.
Plus 3.
And see how your healing works when things get really bad, all that. Okay, so it's tearing into Trill. It's done with its actions. Back to you guys. Ruin has just gone. Everyone in the party's gone, so I'm just going to reset. Everyone think about if you want to go right away.
I don't think I went that round.
You went right at the start because you went up to the edge and you tried to put one to sleep.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought we.
Yeah,
had
so everyone's
done
had a chance
the
to
second
act.
round past that.
They did put one to sleep.
Yep. Yeah, so everyone think if you want to go right away, hit a 2 if you do. We got Theron's got something he wants to do right away. Rune's got something he wants to do right away.
I'm going to change my mind.
I'll do it.
Theron?
Yeah.
Trill?
Theron's good.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Theron.
Theron's gonna just pull out that sword and just keep stabbing down at this thing, trying to just screaming no, trying to get this thing dead. So I'm gonna burn another 2 hope, and then I'm gonna swing at the great sword, and I have advantage on this roll. What does advantage mean again? Oh well, I don't
Extra
think it matters,
D6. You won't need it. You're hitting for it by a mile. Yep.
But I rolled with fear for
You
the
did roll
first
with
time.
fear, so I'm going to add fear to my tokens. I already added your action. You hit it hard. 22 is above its severe threshold, so you did 3 damage to it. It's up to 6 damage now.
Wonderful, and that's it.
Okay.
So there's
That
the
was
screaming and stabbing,
Trill.
covered in wyvern blood.
Okay, I think I will.
So it's basically free to stand up. There's no action or anything required.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that for sure. And I think I will play a relaxing song, which will heal everybody by 1 hit point.
Cool.
Ooh.
Nice.
You and all your allies in 30 feet get a hit point
I
cleared.
love that.
And can I run away?
And that is an action. Yeah, you can move up to 30 feet. So I'll add an action for it. I forgot to take my action when Theron rolled with fear, so I'm going to do that after you, Trill. Okay, so we got this wyvern. Its shadow stuck to the deck there by Panthea. So it's going to try and break out of that. That'll take one of its actions. And then it's going to... I think I might be doing that. Do I spend an action or do I spend fear to clear a condition?
That's a good question.
I can't remember. If anyone can look that up, let me know. I'll look it up. I don't know if you were taking your turn, but I'll spend an action for now. And clear, break free of its shadow being pinned. And then it will do a crushing bite by spending one of the fears and another action. And it's doing a vulnerable target on Ruin. That's a 13 on Ruin against
It
evasion.
is spend an action.
It is spend an action. Okay, thank you. 25 piercing Ruin. Or physical.
That's
physical.
rude.
Yeah.
I just looked up information fuse.
And I think you have no armor left
that's
either.
The thanks you get.
No, I have no armor left.
Okay.
So you said 25, so I take 3 hit points, which would be all my hit. No,
Yeah.
I have 1 left. So I have 1 left.
And back
That's
to you, Ruin.
dramatic because you looked away.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was looking
You're
at the
looking
rules,
in the
and
book.
I look up, you're smacking me in the face.
Your turn, Ruin.
Wow. All right. Fall has come early into winter. Let's see. I could heal some. I'm the most hurt, which Ruin doesn't super love. And do I get a feel for how much? Do I know like the relative health of these things?
Like, can we tell how damaged that one is that has a lot of damage?
You sure can. Do I have it where you can see their bar?
Yep.
So I just see
I
the
can see the
relative.
bar.
You can see the bar?
I just
Okay.
don't know if we know numbers or something
Yeah.
like that.
So
Okay.
you can kind of watch them as they take damage, and you can tell that these
Yeah,
things have
yeah,
around
but,
8-ish or so.
Can't really do that. Okay, so the thing got out of my screen. I'm right next to it. I mean, let's just see what happens. Ruin would rather die fighting than bother to heal himself, and nobody else is as hurt as I am. So I would like to go later and heal somebody, but first I'm going to try to bring Ruin to this thing in front of me. So I will make a spellcast roll. I'm going to spend my Seaborn, and I'm going to spend a Hope, so I'll have +2 to it. And I'll use Cinder Grasp to see if I can roll really high on a d20, which would make me feel really good. So
I believe in you.
I'm gonna try. So that's a really good roll, and that would be 15 fire damage.
Magical fire, plus he's on fire.
And he's
Great
on
roll.
fire for 2d6 at the end of its action.
That is enough to actually kill it. So the body
Holy crud.
sprawls across the deck, flames licking at the sides of the ship.
It is your season, the last. Cool. That's great.
Okay. This wyvern,
Awesome.
I'm going to have this wyvern use up this action to get out of the sleep, but he had already plummeted quite a ways. So he's not going to be back in the fight anytime soon. Then that was Ruin. Melvin, go ahead.
All right, I just want to make sure I understand the combat rules here, Tom. So there's no requirement that we all take a turn and then we all take another turn, right? Like one person.
Yeah,
takes.
the only requirement is that you all agree.
All right. So the only reason I put myself at 2 is because I would like to see Theron go again. because Melvin doesn't know. He's not good at combat, but Theron is the greatest at combat.
So what I'll do is I'll have anyone else who wants to go get it. We'll get to go before someone goes twice, like Panthea wants to go. But people that are 0 are saying, "Oh, keep going." But Melvin, knowing that, do you want to be at 0 or 2 or where you want to be?
Sure. 0 is
0. Okay. So Panthea is going to go. Go ahead, Panthea. And Melvin, you can just not take your turn this round, and it'll go back to the first person.
Okay.
I am going to unleash chaos.
Nice.
As one does.
So this one on the edge of the deck there is visible. The other one is way down low. It's going to take its whole turn to come back into the fight.
Yeah. So I'm targeting the one there, and so I'm just gonna do all the things. So I'm gonna unleash chaos. I'm gonna channel raw power and discard Shadowbind, which should give me extra magic damage equal to twice the level of the card.
Nice.
And Shadowbind, I think, is level 2. if I
You
remember
are correct.
So that would be +4.
Yep.
And I will use a Hope to add 3 more to damage.
Okay.
So that'll be +7 to damage.
Okay.
And I will use Wandering Weather Witch to give myself +2.
Okay.
All right. All the things.
Nice.
I just have to hit now. Unleash Chaos. Oh, that might not hit.
You're at 11, plus you had Weather Witch,
+2, so it'll be
13. 13 hit.
All right.
Yeah.
So
You did hit with
7.
fear. So I'll mark that. And then your action.
Yeah. So it's 15 plus another 7 on top, 22 damage.
22. That gets to its severe threshold. Takes 3 damage. Nice.
Very good.
You needed all of that because you were right at his severe threshold. That was Panthea, and then Melvin's not going, so...
Actually, I did want to ask, if I was to slumber this guy, he's kind of half off the side, would he fall?
He may or may not, but he's going to go next, actually. Because
Okay.
we just had a roll with beer. So he's going to go. He's going to go ahead and fly up into the air. Beats his powerful wings, the rigging shaking underneath your feet there, but the winds of Panthea are keeping you aloft. And as it gains enough altitude, it dives back down onto the ship using a deadly dive. Marks a stress. And plummets to the ground right here by Theron and Ruin and Melvin. The 3 of you are within the reach of its deadly dive. It's going to be 11 physical damage. The first person is going to be Ruin. And that is a 9 on you, which I think hits you. And then the other 2 I'll roll. So Melvin, this will be you. It's going to be a d20 plus 3 slash R. D20 plus 3. That's a 23 versus your evasion. That's actually a crit. So we'll do that in a second. And then Theron. That is a 13 versus your evasion. So I think I got all of you. 11 physical damage for all of you. You're all knocked prone, so put that prone marker on your guy. Theron, we'll say you're not knocked prone since you're up there in the rigging, but you get kind of tangled up in the rigging, so it'll be effectively prone until you act. And
I'm going to use my retaliation real quick.
Go for it.
For that hit. Enjoy that 14 points of damage.
That is 2 hit points to him.
Did it take its... Oh, that's at the end of its turn.
Spend 1 armor.
Oh, that's what I should have done. I was dumb.
Ah, dang it.
So let's wrap up what happened just now.
I go down.
Okay, Ruin's going to go down. So let's do a death move for Ruin. So what would Ruin want to do with their death move?
So let me look at my death moves again.
You have 3 options.
Where do we see this?
You have 3 options. They're Blaze of Glory, Avoid Death, or Risk It All.
Oh,
Blaze of Glory,
right.
you automatically die, but you can do a critical hit before you die. Avoid Death, you fall unconscious. And Risk It All, you leave it up to the dice what happens.
Yeah.
And if I roll high, what is it that I have? What
If
are
your
those
hope
things?
is higher, you stay on your feet and clear an amount of hit points and or stress equal to the value of the hope die. Divide the hope die
that's
value
it.
up between these however you'd prefer. If your fear die
Alright,
is higher,
alright.
you cross through the
We'll do
veil of
that.
death.
That sounds great. All right, so what do I roll?
2d12. The left one will be your hope. The right one will be your fear. You did it. Hope is higher. So you stay on your feet and you clear 5 hit points and or stress.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a hard choice.
You know, I don't want to be stressed.
I want to die peacefully.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
I
awesome.
wanna die so chill.
And if you had tied them, you'd stay on your feet, clear all hit points and all stress.
That's pretty cool.
I think Risk It All might be the one to use, but I mean, if you fail, you die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Interesting.
critical roll is really nice too, but
Yeah.
I feel like we can do this.
Okay, that was its first action. Its second action is a Crushing Bite, so it's going to use that action. Crushing Bite uses a fear, I believe, so I'll take a fear off. And Crushing Bite's going to affect all of you guys that are vulnerable around. Oh no, he picks one. He'll go after Theron, who's vulnerable beside him. He spends the fear, attacks the vulnerable target in 10 feet. It's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11 to hit. 28 physical damage, and you're going to mark an armor slot first before you use any of your armor slots to reduce that 28.
I did that, yeah. Real quick, he's going to take 14 points of damage for that
Nice.
jerk move.
You kill him in retaliation.
Hooray!
So mark a
But
stress
let's
as
see
well.
if I need to see if I die too. Or not die, I guess. Let's see. I have 1 armor slot left. I'm going to spend that armor slot to reduce that 28 to... Oh, no, hold on. Reducing that will not help me in any way, shape, or form. I will still take the full 3. So
Okay.
I'll take
Is
3.
it possible for me to? Oh, you won't go down though, right?
No,
He's
won't
not
go
gonna
down.
I won't go down. I won't go down.
He'll never die.
I'll never die. Yeah, so son of a bee sting. No wait, that's his wrong voice. Son of a bee sting. What's with that? My arm is like hanging. This is terrible. Dislocated my shoulder.
You look bad.
And I'm going to use that fear to get 2
hurtful.
actions back. You hear the beating of the wings of the wyvern that had fallen below the ship, and it just comes up into view using those 2 actions, and now it's back to you guys, and Melvin's the last to go.
I will take my turn.
If you want to go for it, Melvin.
Why are you still? Why aren't you asleep? And I will put him to sleep again.
Uh-oh, fear.
And that's only a 12. That's a fail.
12's a fail. Oh no! It's going to go right after you. Then it was an action to do that, so it's got an action token.
Crap, Melvin, look out!
No,
Good
watch
job
out,
tanking
Melvin.
it, though.
So
Stop
it crawls
throwing
right over the ship to there, and it'll do a bite on Melvin. 14 for 21 piercing. Physical.
That I cannot even get that below severe.
Okay.
So that takes me to 6. So I will also risk it all.
Okay.
We can do it.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Come
Pretty sure you exist.
on, Hope.
Tied.
Critical.
You clear everything.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
All right. So
You guys, look at these great heroes I'm with.
You know,
May
from our
take an
playtest, we
action.
can conclude Daggerheart is a piece of cake.
too easy. Too
It
easy.
doesn't know what it's doing.
I'm gonna kill all of you. How long do you have?
Prisoners never die.
We're back to your guys' turn.
So
All of you
Bruin
wanna
go?
would like to heal.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll choose to do an arcane barrage. That was Melvin's was so impressive
Nice.
that unbidden, I'll spend 3 hope to auto hit with 3d6.
Okay.
Oh, I don't remember. With a critical, I get a hope as well, right?
It's not an action roll, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think you
No.
would. Okay, so 10 damage to it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's past its minor or moderate threshold. So major threshold, so it takes 2 damage. 2 hit points. Got that. I'll get my phraseology right here sometime by the end of the game. Theron, go ahead.
Yeah, Theron's going to go ahead and swing on the rigging. Swing, land on, again, trying to land on top of this dragon. And start stabbing and screaming as he's covered in his own blood now. And nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Okay, let me see here. Let's go ahead and swing with the greatsword. I have advantage. Oh, shoot. Okay. What does advantage give me again?
A D6.
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 You're going to
I don't know
need
if
it.
that's going to be enough.
9. It might be. It'll be close. You'll need a high roll. You
How
got
about
it.
6?
You got it.
Okay. So I didn't roll with hope, but here's what's going to happen now. I dealt 14 points of damage, but I'm going to spend a hope to
Okay.
use my orc ability of tusks. So as he lands and drives the greatsword into this thing, he's then also just like biting out at its wing and like ripping off a chunk of it with his with his mouth.
Okay.
So let's add another 4 damage onto that 14. So it's going to turn into an 18.
18, that's major threshold, so it's going to take 2 damage to that. That was...
Theron looks batshit insane right now. Covered in his blood, wyvern blood, and with a chunk of wyvern flesh in his mouth that he spits out.
Okay,
So.
after Theron, it's going to go, since you rolled with fear, it's going to attack Melvin, the invulnerable, with a crusher, let's see, with a bite. That's only a 6 to hit Melvin, that's a miss. That's one of its
That is a
actions. Then it's going to attack Theron with a bite, and that's a 16 to hit you, Theron, for 19 physical.
All right, I'm going to retaliate real quick. 9 points of damage to hit. I'm going to burn an armor to try, my last armor, to try to survive this as best as I can. 19 will take that only down to a 13, right? If I do
Correct.
that, that'll be... Oh, that's... Well, it'll take it down. It won't be severe threshold. But I'll die anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
so you might as well save it.
I'll just die.
Want to risk it all?
Oh, of course, of course.
Of course you do.
So eventually one of us will fail this roll.
I think it's going to be me right now. Here we go. 2d12, right? And roll it.
2d12, yep.
2d12, hoping for hope.
Oh, it's beer.
No!
Theron is killed.
So, yeah. So Theron's final words are, oh, it hurts! And then he dies.
Theron's greatsword is protruding through the wyvern's mouth as the wyvern bites into Theron, his body thrown to the deck dead. And, let's see, that was the wyvern went. We're down to 0 actions for them. Bruin, your turn.
Did you say Bruin?
Bruin, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was just contemplating how interesting the initiative effects are, because what I was going to do was heal you.
Oh no.
So yeah, I will instead see Melvin's tanking. That seems great. But I'm really sure that our sorcerer will have some amazing firepower to go on, and Trill's been doing lots of good stuff, boosting us. So I'm gonna move over to Trill. I'm gonna use 3 hope, and man, that only does 1d4 hit points. That's not that much, but let's try it. Okay, so that is called regeneration, which I don't see. I'll just roll it here. So I heal 3 on
I mean,
Trill.
that's
pretty good.
really helpful.
If it had been 1, I would have been sad. No, I'm
It
happy.
does
Yeah, I
say
hear that.
it does say use an action, so I'll move an action token over.
Oh,
Did
does
you
not
just,
use
like-
it? Yeah, it
like
does use an action. Yeah.
Stuff some of your own fungus into my mouth.
So actually,
Do I
I
have a
meant to
mouth?
describe it, but I got caught up in the mechanics. So I reach out my hand, which is this driftwood like bound in vines and fungal growth, and these little mushroom dudes kind of like happily cross over from my body to yours, and they reach your wound and they give you these big, like huge, like puppy dog eyes, kind of like Puss in Boots kind of eyes, and then they die. And their dying closes your wound.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's cool.
And Thea, your turn.
Panthea's still in a little bit of shock from seeing the little dudes die, sacrificing themselves to heal.
Good fall.
I think it's a harsh moment. She's gonna point her dual staff at the wyvern stoically and shoot some lightning out at it.
Oh, nice.
So I will use 1 hope for experience for Wandering Weather Witch, and 1 hope for +3 damage.
Okay.
So that's me out of hope now. There's no detriment for me having no hope, right?
There is no detriment.
Okay, it sounds awful though. Right, dual staff.
Hit.
So that'll hit.
Yep.
And that's 8 + 3, 11 damage.
11. That goes over its major threshold, doing 2 damage to him. And it's on its last legs.
Oh.
That was an action, and you rolled with hope, so you gain a hope back. And then Melvin's turn.
All right. Melvin takes out his dagger. He's shaking. And he'll attempt to stab it. All right. Where's my dagger? There's my small dagger.
That's hope.
That is a 11. I assume that misses.
11 does miss, though.
But you kept hope alive.
But you kept hope alive. And then we'll reset here. Everyone think about who's going first. I'll just generally keep it in the same order.
I think Theron should not go first.
No.
Well, I feel like Trill would be motivated because it seems like it's on its last legs. So maybe
Go
can
ahead,
I like
Trill.
charge up?
Go for
Go.
it.
Go ahead.
I can just hear the little peg legs across the
Yeah,
planks.
like while she's running, she's like, and like a little tiny like rapier point extends from like the palm of her hand, and she'll just attack with her little rapier, which is up here.
Ooh, hope, and you hit, and you drop the wyvern.
Yeah.
Falls over the ship edge. Okay, so that was the dream that Theron had several days from now. He wakes up in a sweat, and we reset back to where you were at the point in the battle when you had beat the 1 wyvern. So you can reset your hit points and reset all your resources and such that you're there. Let me set the scene real quick on the next step, and then we'll take a quick break. So the captain of the ship strides up the steps onto the aft castle, and he says, "That was quite the display. It only takes a full squadron of my soldiers and a pair of officers to fight one of those things off, and the 5 of you did it by yourselves. I
What's
suppose."
these for?
Well, there were only
Yeah, Vin, you helped.
I don't think so.
I guess having adventures wasn't so bad after all. You must join me and my officers for dinner tonight. That way I can properly thank you for your service. But first, take some time to bandage your swoons and rest. So you guys will get a short rest in addition to resetting to where you were right after you fought the wyvern. And things you can do with a short rest, you can do 2 different downtime things. You can tend to your wounds, which you clear 1d4 hit points. You can clear 1d4 stress. You can repair 1d4 armor slots, or you can prepare, in which you,
I'm going to prepare.
with one or more members of your party, each gain 2. If you choose to prepare with one or more members of your party, you each gain 2 hope. So as long as 2 of you are preparing, you'll get 2. If only one of you prepares, you'll get 1.
I don't need to heal, so I will prepare.
Okay. So anyone who wants to prepare is going to get 2, since there's 2 of you at least doing that. And let's take a break. We'll come back in about 10 minutes or so. So it's 22 afters. Let's come back. Well, thanks for humoring me on that. I wanted to see how death mechanics worked.
Yeah, that was
action.
They're generous.
I mean, we had a lot of luck. It could have gone really.
That's true.
Could be 3 dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as easily as 2 alive,
Well,
1 dead.
I think for a halfling, you definitely want to take the chance because that if you roll a 1 on your hope die, you can re-roll it.
Yeah,
So it gives you a better chance of surviving that way.
yeah.
He's
The
gonna
generous
throw it out there. It didn't feel generous to me.
the generous side, I think, is how much you heal. I mean, you're like
Yeah.
right back to full.
Yeah.
Or near it.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. Pretty
Yeah.
strong if you can make it.
That
But
feels.
I mean, you also, you could just go unconscious and be like, my party will prevail, and I know I'll be alive.
I think you really can't visualize hit points as wounds in this one.
Yeah.
Or it makes no sense.
Yeah, for your wounds just miraculously all heal.
It feels like it's almost designed to counter the D&D yo-yoing of people who fall. It's like if you get up for real. You're not just gonna get knocked down with the
That's
next
true.
hit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure that out of what the game really, and I haven't watched their recent live streams, which I need to do that to see how they play. But their vision of sort of how deadly or not it is, I still don't have a real feel for it because there's a lot you can do within this game's mechanics that I don't know to what extent they want to encourage players to do, right? So like an option we could do is we should, like, tactically speaking, we should prioritize non-roll actions first because the monsters can't go off of those. Like if you're not rolling hope dice, right, duality dice, then you're not going to power the GM taking a turn. And it makes sense to do that really early whenever you can. Right, so if I'd healed before Theron went in, then he can't, he would not have died from the retaliation kind of thing. But so yeah, it's interesting to ponder the game and what they're trying to do. The other thing is there's just so much on my character sheet that until I get to know it and I get to know the other players, which for you had that issue too. Like when you're a smooth, well-oiled machine that knows the party and you know your character and the others, boy, that's such a different power level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are so many triggered effects in this game for just second level characters.
Yeah,
I'm amazed.
More
at how
than
much.
4E, right? Like,
Yeah.
wow.
I think what's really thrown me off here is that, like, okay, so moving your character around the battlefield for at least short moves doesn't require any action, right?
Right.
So everybody should be able to, as the fight begins, be able to maneuver themselves exactly where they would want to be before the enemy can do a single thing.
I mean, technically speaking, if it doesn't take an action to move, couldn't just everyone move an infinite amount?
Well,
I'm gonna move. Oh, I'll move again. I'll move again.
It does take an action and a roll to move greater than close, but you're right. You're just cycling.
So I'll just move very close and very close again.
Yeah. Now, technically, the game as written, I can take a GM move anytime I want. I don't need you to fail a roll. I don't need you to roll a fear. As long as I have actions to spend or fear to turn into actions, I can go. It just is that it's best to try and do it on a miss or on a fear.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, while you technically can do that, the DM can just step in and say, okay, monster does this.
And then all you did was move, and then the monsters go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting.
It is.
Yeah. It's a very different. It's different because it's so meaty compared to like Apocalypse World or Dungeon World that it feels like it's turn based, but it isn't.
Yeah.
And I get what they want because especially reading the GM section, which I thought was really just fantastic.
I gotta watch your video on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Thanks. It was. I think you should because, and just also everybody should read the GM section because it's like Apocalypse World, but for Critical Role. And it's the first part that in this game where I read the rules and I said, okay, this is actually a Critical Role RPG. not just a weird, fun RPG. Because it really is about the nature of what the DM, what the kind of DM player relationship should be in their eyes, and how that should flow. Which is substantially different from other games other than like Apocalypse World type games. And so I think that's really, it's going to take me a while to really digest that. And I want to actually play it at a physical table where we can really play with those elements and see how that goes. Because there's a lot that's just so hard to do online.
Yeah. Okay, so
All right, well, if you guys have Thursday ready, you guys come over.
Sounds good.
I can drive up there. Speaking of the critical role aspect, so one thing they are trying to really push is that the players take part in the world creation, take part in the story creation that's going on in the background. And so as you guys are taking your short rest and you're waiting for dinner to commence, Melvin, why do you think the wyverns attacked the ship?
Why do I think that? Probably because they heard of the greatest heroes on Earth being here. Trill, Ruin, Theron, and Panthea, and they wanted to test their mettle, and this is what they get.
Do you think someone knew you guys and sent them after you?
Oh, everyone knows about Trill, Ruin, Theron, and Panthea. Everybody.
Speaking of Panthea, you knew how to operate on this ship really well with your magic and such. Have you ever traveled by airship before?
I have traveled on many a ship, having control over the wind. Let's just say many sailors are my friends.
Are you looking for any landmarks on your journey?
Who did you
Me?
meet?
Yeah, for Panthea. Have you come this way before? Is there something you're looking to see again? Something new?
No, but I'm always interested in magical phenomenon. So the fact that we're going on this mission to recover a magical component is in itself enough motivation for me, because we're trying to re-enchant ancient magic, and that is damn cool.
Trill,
Mhm.
you've heard stories about a dashing pirate crew that sails these skies, led by a furbolg named Calliope Crimson. What rumors have you heard about Calliope and her crew?
That Calliope, out of all like pirate crews, is known for being like fair to those under her. Like they always equally split the booty. And so like even though they're feared and infamous, there's also like a level of respect for this particular leader of these pirates, because of their like surprising attitude towards like fair play and like amount of honor that they have.
Nice. All right. One last thing. I don't know who might know this, if any of you. Do any of you have any experience with formal military dinners, which you're about to go to?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I may have read something about.
Might have read some? Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I've been to warrior feasts, but not it's not formal where I come from.
Yeah. Okay. So you're invited to dinner. This is in the aft castle, below the deck where you fought on. There is a spacious officer's quarter, bathed in warm magical light. When you step in, you see banners, you see awards, you see a big painting of a battle filling the walls of the quarter. At the back stands a sturdy desk beneath a stained glass window that catches the last glow of twilight. There's magic lit sconces casting room in warm tones, and in the center of the room is a heavy oak table about 12 feet long. It's got matching carved seats, and there are a couple other passengers, and there are the crew. The crew being Commander Augustus Kane, Lieutenant Commander Celeste Surhand, and Melendra Silver, the ship's wizard. You're invited in and invited to take a seat. So this one also has a kind of a area card. I don't know if these are things I should share with you or shouldn't share with you, but I just kind of want to share with you so you can see how it works. And it's over here, the Commander's Dinner, an exploration card. Everyone at the dinner is going to be paying close attention. They're going to be on their best behavior. It's going to be difficult to conceal or whisper things between each other. So grab a seat around the table, wherever you want to be sitting. Everyone kindly and patiently waits for you to sit down. and then starts making small talk. Commander Kane, his second command, and the other guests all are very polite. They attempt to find out, about you guys, where you're from, had you fought wyverns before, you were so good at it, that kind of stuff. You, in return, can make presence rolls to learn about the officers or the other guests, and you can make an instinct roll to interpret the words and actions of the officers and the other guests. And this will kind of just go in whatever order you want to go in, anytime anyone wants to do anything or say anything. So, as it begins, Commander Kane is very proud of his crew, his ship, his accomplishments. He shares how fast the ship is. He credits Melendra Silver, the ship's wizard, for helping make it so fast. You had heard, one of you, of about Calliope, the pirate queen. There's also a long-dead pirate king, Captain K, who had a treasure hoard somewhere in this area.
Ooh.
Anyone want to ask any questions of anyone?
I mean, I'm going to be trying to pick up, since I'm always interested in change, I'm listening out for current events and trying to hear things that are in motion, people changing positions of power, any of that kind of stuff. And I'll just be trying to listen in specifically on that.
Okay.
I'm not asking questions.
You can, if you like, make a presence roll, or if you want to be more passive, make an instinct roll. Sounded like you're being more listening. That'd be more like an instinct roll.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't know where I find that, but I can roll.
Near the left-hand side of the very first one after your evasion and your armor, it says like A2, S0, F0 for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I3, which is instinct. You're really good at instinct.
Yeah.
So that'd be a 14, 17 with hope. So you could add a hope.
Nice.
Yeah. And you're able to listen in on what's going on. You catch amongst the side conversations and the stuff going on at the dinner table that the Windfall's freshly commissioned, and the commander has been recently promoted and given the command of the ship. And that came after, and some of you might be interested in this, having heard the history of the pirate Calliope. It came after a successful battle against Calliope Crimson's Crimson Cloud ship, and the captain says he's eager to bring Calliope to justice after she evaded capture during that battle. Anyone else want to do anything?
Yeah, while this is going on, I'd like to get a kind of a feel of what sort of captain, what sort of leader the captain is, and how the crew responds to them.
Okay.
I'm trying to use instinct to try to just get a feel about these people.
Okay, make an instinct check. So
that's a lot.
That's a lot with fear, but a lot.
Fear.
Yes.
So Theron's real nervous at this very formal dinner, and just sort of like grabbing the wrong silverware constantly, and then eventually just gets frustrated and just like jabs a few of the meat and just lets the whole thing to his mouth and starts eating it, chewing, but like kind of just trying to listen but making a fool of himself a little bit and very nervous about it.
The commander's kind of boastful. What kind of stories of valor does he share that you overhear to gauge how boastful he is?
Kind of hearing the story of a time where they had fought off another pirate ship, not the one that we know about, but a different one, and it seems to me that overwhelming force versus their crew, I guess.
Got it.
And
okay, yeah. So he's definitely very boastful, very eager to get ahead, very clean cut. He is broad-shouldered, bronze-skinned, very handsome. You think he's going to go far in the military, but you're a little concerned that he might not have the ethics that your people might, consider necessary. Okay, so anyone else want to go after you?
I think if Trill does believe that the pirate queen is honorable, then she might just ask wouldn't it be more important to talk to her first and understand her motivations before bringing her to justice, in air quotes? So little tiny fingered air quotes.
So little Trill is just barely peeking up above the table. Little two-fingered air quotes. And the captain's going to spend a fear that you can tell he takes offense to it. And he makes it clear he doesn't care for your tone. He rebukes you in front of the entire room. Every one of you mark a stress, please.
Ooh.
You have disadvantage on any presence rolls for the rest of the scene. Definitely you hit a nerve with Calliope. And he takes no, no, what is it? Not no offense, but no condoning of any
Opposite of
pirate
that.
activity. Yeah, no condoning of any pirate activity at all.
Right.
So you've
I'd
heard
like
of the
to
ship
do so-
speed,
Oh.
of course, Panthea. So you're pretty interested in overall how it gets this speed. You're sitting right
Yeah.
next to Melandra, who is the ship's wizard, in case you want to share any
Oh
information
yeah,
with her.
I absolutely want to ask her. Now, would I have seen, like, does the ship have physical sails?
It does, yes. It's got 3 main masts, and here's a good picture of it, basically. 3 main masts, 2 side masts, and propulsion devices of some sort near the aft part of the ship.
So I will say that I have been on many ships powered by wind, but I'm curious about the magical propulsion devices and whether she needs to magically maintain them, or how does that work?
You can make and this will be with disadvantage, unfortunately, a presence roll.
Okay. Present.
So the button you can do that with is the fifth one from the left. That rolls all your skill checks, basically.
Okay. I can't do. I just rolled twice for disadvantage, right?
Okay, so you're at
That's it.
16 plus your presence, 17.
That's a critical, right?
And it's a crit, so you don't have to worry about having disadvantage. So you gain a hope, you clear a stress, and you could have used Curious About All Kinds of Magic as well, but you didn't. Doesn't matter, so you're good. The ship's speed and fortune with good winds is exceptional to the point of unbelievability. Melandra is the creator of the ship's engine, a magical device that the Navy hopes to roll out across the fleet. She's very proud of her engineering, and furthermore, you see that she's fiddling with something. And Melvin, you can see this too, as Panthea looks at it and Melandra shows it to her. So Melvin, you haven't gone yet. It's some sort of astro lab that she is fiddling with.
Well, I'm always interested in this kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in this conversation stuff until he put down Trill. I didn't like that at all. In fact, no action. I used my telepathy to contact each of the great heroes and just let them know that I don't know if we should help this captain at all. But then I see a magical device and I go, "Woo, magical device!" and I lose interest in the conversation entirely. And now I just want to look at this device and figure out what it does.
Yeah, so you can mosey on over there, maybe change seats with that other person at the table, and make a finesse or knowledge roll to investigate the device, and you'll find a way to maybe activate it.
Yes. So I have priceless knowledge gained through great study. If you have advantage on all knowledge rolls to recall information. If this is about the magical nature of a creature or enchantment, would this be an enchantment?
Yeah, you can use the advantage on this. Yeah.
All right.
Can I apply my experience to another person?
You can.
Like
you can spend a hope.
in an assist roll? I'll do
you
that.
You don't actually apply your experience, but you can give another person advantage by spending a hope. And if you have multiple sources of advantage, you both roll and you take the higher.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll give you advantage.
So you spend a hope, and now you're going to get a roll 2d6, Melvin, and take the higher of the two.
All right. So we'll begin with the initial roll.
Okay.
Do I add my intellect to this?
You will, yes.
All right. So this is +3.
Actually, you'll add your knowledge to it.
Oh,
that's your higher thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. +3.
Okay.
So 18, and then
you got a
let's
success.
add another 5, so 23.
Success with hope, so you get to mark another hope. And
I can't because I'm all full.
Oh no. You find a way to indicate to the Melandra, hey, you just press that button or this button, and all of a sudden it activates.
Yeah, I've seen 100 of these, and I just.
The whole dinner table comes to a stop as everyone sees projected onto the wall briefly a magical map. It shows some landmark that stands out on the map that will orientate you to the territory shown, or the whole table to the territory shown. Immediately, she turns it back off and puts it under her cloak, and the captain gives her a very disapproving glare that she had done that. And then just then...
Can I use my strong memory to memorize it in the brief instance that I see it?
Yes, you can. Nice. You're memorizing it as best you can. The dinner, though, is not only cold all of a sudden, but interrupted by the blast of an alarm as the Windfall comes under attack. Commander Kane and his officers leap into action immediately. They spring up above deck. You emerge to, assuming you up above deck, behind them.
Yeah.
You emerge to a chaotic scene. The Windfall is attempting to evade a smaller airship, a nimble schooner with blood-red sails, the Crimson Cloud. 3 grappling hooks sail over and latch themselves to the Windfall's rail and pull the pirate ship in to ram its steel prow into the Navy ship. Pirates pour over the sides, ready to fight. Commander Kane emerges from his court, or with you, and commands you, repel the boarders. He tells his crew to take cover. So, let me move you to the ship deck. And, let's see.
Is this where we turncoat?
Jill says, "Oh boy, paw away."
Calliope sounds cool. Everybody has good things to say.
And, let's see.
We want to join your side.
I've always wanted a Navy airship of my own.
I just like the food.
Okay, so drawn right here, the other ship that's come basically at an angle to your ship. Pirates jumping off. You guys are pouring through this door over here. So, put you guys all near that door. And the pirates jumping off of the ship in front of you. There. The captain rushes across the ship and is gathering all the soldiers and getting them down into the lower decks so that they don't, all the sailors, so they don't get killed. So you guys are basically left alone for the first part of this fight as the pirate boarders are coming aboard. The captain has ordered you to repel them. Sounds like you might not want to. That's up to you what you want to do. They are...
What do you guys think? Do we want to turncoat? I vote turncoat.
I want parlay. I want to negotiate.
Yeah, we could parlay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everybody knows airship pirate rules, the code.
And the pirates fan out, basically, but don't charge in to attack you. Then you see a dashing fur-bowled woman with tricorn hat, red eyes, and a polished leaf amulet around her neck step up onto the prow of the pirate ship, shouting, "Nobody has to die today. Just bring me the prisoner and we'll be on our way." So this is Calliope.
Prisoner.
Oh, prisoner.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Wait, why did I become an orc?
You can see the captain turn and his face is growing grim that you're not repelling the pirates, and he's yelling for you to repel them. And meanwhile, as that's happening, Calliope and her pirates surge forward. There's more pirates with her, in addition to the ones screening you guys right now. Surge forward, pushing through and charging down the stairs. So basically she rushes over to these stairs and goes down below deck. You guys can give chase right away if you like, but her soldiers don't know. They're going to try and stop you is what's going to happen. Even though you're saying parlay, they don't want you chasing after her. So you guys can act first, though. And she's running downstairs. She's got multiple sailors around her, so she's basically down below. You guys need to get down below behind her. Maybe take out those...
Is there another way to go down below?
There's not. There's only those stairs. Okay. Well, maybe there is that you haven't found. Because the only place you've been is down below. One deck is where the passenger quarters are. You've been in the captain's room, which is right behind you, which had a door off of it. You don't know if that has stairs down or not. So that's where you're at. You can try and go through the screening wall. You can try and find another way down. And whoever wants to go first can go first.
Perhaps the party leader could negotiate with these pirates. And, of course, the party leader is anyone but Melvin.
Does anybody have any good making friends capabilities?
I mean, I've got pretty decent presence.
Thank you for volunteering.
Does anyone have any experience that would come into play here?
I have disarming cuteness. Maybe I can just melt their hearts.
That's got to apply.
There's no way it doesn't apply.
Really good.
Excuse me, Mr. Pilots. We mean you no harm. We only want a peaceful chat.
Okay.
If you might let us through, we can help you even.
Make a presence roll. The DC is going to be 12 that you got to beat.
Okay.
If you succeed with hope, you guys are going down no problem. If you
and to apply your experience bonus, you have to spend a hope.
You do have to spend a hope to start. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, gotcha. So I will.
And
mark
if
that.
you succeed with fear, there might be some complications. So if you succeed with hope, you're getting scot-free down behind the captain.
Right, I hear you. And can I add my inspiration to this? My own rally die?
Your Bard Rally die, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
You're going to succeed, I think. It's just the hope or fear part that matters.
All right. Let's roll it.
Well, you should succeed. It is a DC 12, so it's possible not to.
Okay, so was it this button?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You made it with hope.
Okay, cool.
The pirates are like, okay, if you're helping, I guess. And you guys can all go rushing by.
All right.
The captain
we will follow.
The captain is like furious, and he's ordering he's yelling out for Kaless, which you know is his second lieutenant, to bring soldiers, and you think he might be going to fight these pirates. But meanwhile, you guys can get down the deck and find out what Calliope's doing.
I am going to give the captain a glance as we leave,
Okay.
and I'm going to point at Trill
Okay.
to remind him why we've turned on him.
I mean, we haven't really turned. Turned is a strong term.
Nobody insults Trill.
So you guys come running down the
You were
stairs.
like throwing me under the bus, being like, what she said. I don't know what's happening.
So you come, if you come down these steps right here, they lead you down to the first deck, basically here. And what there is basically you have stacked stairs. So you come down onto this deck, and I don't have all the rooms shown, but this is where the quarters are. So you have a narrow hallway going fore and aft, and you have a hallway, basically an area where you can circle around. So you come down the steps to where I have a ruin, and then you would circle around and then go down another flight of steps. And you can hear boots down those other flight of steps. So you look down the hallway, both left and to right, no sign of Calliope or her pirates, but you hear boots going down the stairs below. So you guys can give chase down below, and that takes you to one floor below, and you can all come down to here. So now you're 2 flights of stairs down, and there's a hold down below you, so there's only one more level below you. You're on the level of the engine room. There's a door that's open, and Calliope's standing in the doorway with her back toward you. When you look through the doorway, you see kind of a bad sight. Here we go. There's a strange magical contraption with tubes and crystals and small weather vane connected to a freestanding iron cell. There's a better picture of it. Share that with you.
Whoa.
Not really a cell. There's more
Hey,
iron
that's
chains.
not cool.
Good lord.
Yeah, iron chains.
This is like overkill.
There's an exhausted and obviously malnourished turtle, Galapa in Daggerheart terms, standing in the cell or in the chains. Melandra, the ship's wizard, is there, standing in front of the Galapa, blocking the pirate captain from reaching either the magical contraption or the Galapa. Calliope Crimson threatens Melandra with a drawn cutlass. Melandra is frozen with fear. The distraught turtle calls out to you, saying, "Please, help my captain and get me out of this horrible thing." So that was the turtle. "Help me, get me out of this horrible thing." Melandra is standing in between the turtle and Calliope. Calliope is threatening Melandra. What do you want to do? Any one of you can go first. Who wants to go first?
And what do we know about Melandra?
Okay, so Melandra was the ship's wizard. Melandra had made whatever magical devices were put in place to make the ship so fast.
We liked Melandra, I think.
You did like her, but now
Melandra
you see that the magical devices that are empowering this ship is relying on the imprisonment of this turtle.
Oh, that's evil.
Yeah, not good.
Cool.
And she's
What the
stopping
what?
Calliope from getting
What
to
a
the turtle.
twist!
So wait, if we manage to disengage him from this device, the ship will start to fall out of the sky?
It won't fall out of the sky, but it won't be going fast like it is.
Oh, okay.
It'll be much slower. It'll be relying on sail
But I was going to
power.
have to get in there.
Yeah.
I mean, Panthea who has been talking with her. She'll just say, "Melandra, what did you do?" I think go look at the turtle. I'm hoping that she will.
Yeah. Melandra,
Like, explaining herself will make her realize the error of her ways.
Melandra says that, stop her, and she's pointing to Calliope. She's a pirate, and you can tell that she's very shaken and very scared, Melandra is. You don't think Melandra is at all skilled with any kind of combat. Maybe she might have some offensive spellcasting capability, but you didn't sense that out of her. So you don't think she's much of a threat to you guys, and she's just focused on Calliope, stopping her from getting to Del Ponde.
I'm no diplomat, so I simply say, these are not the right things that you are doing, Melandra. Blood will flow if you continue on this path.
So Theron's not much of a diplomat. I'd like Theron to rush in and try to free
Okay.
the yes. That's what I want to do.
All right. Calliope stands aside. Melandra
This
puts
is
up a
stupid.
little fuss, but not much. And then when you get therein, you see that the chains, they are padlocked, so you need to have a key. You could try and brute force them with a strength action roll. Just try and break them by brute force.
Yeah, that's no choice at all.
Definitely gonna do that. Theron's like this is just dumb, and then like gonna try to just using the blade,
Okay.
like basically break those chains.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's a DC 14 strength action roll.
excellent. I'm gonna spend hope to use my incredible strength experience.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then and I'm sorry, you said strength roll, right?
Yep.
That is a 13, 14, 15, 16.
That is a success with hope. So you gain a hope. You break Del Ponde free. Melandra says no. And then the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to spend a fear token. I'm going to take 2 actions for it. I'm going to do a GM move because
A momentous thing just happened.
thunderous steps come down from above, and you see standing there Captain Kane. Captain Kane comes down the steps. He levels a blunderbuss at you. He says, I'm afraid you've seen too much. You'll be making an early departure along with this pirate cur.
Oh, well, then it's on, Mon Capitan.
Okay, so he will use the blunderbuss. Make an attack against targets in a very close range. So it's going to be Melvin and Ruin. It's at +3 on the attack roll, so /R, it's 3. And I'll do these one at a time. So Melvin first, 19, and then Ruin, a 6 only, Ruin. You might have evaded it. It's going to be 3d12 physical damage.
Oh, a lot.
So 12 physical damage, Melvin.
Oh, okay. So that would be severe, but I'm going to spend an armor, and that will reduce it to major.
Okay. And then that dazes you. This is interesting. So
Ooh.
what daze does, and this makes sense, is it adds an action to the action tracker. So it's kind of like you not taking an action.
That's interesting.
Yeah, interesting way to do it. Okay, so he did the blunderbuss. He could only act once, though. He's not like a solo or anything. So that is it for his actions. I did not mention that the other sailors that came down with her, they had spread across the ship looking for Del Ponde. So they're not in the fight. It's just you guys and Kane and Calliope. And Calliope goes rushing over to help Del Ponde. Melendra, she just cowers in fear from you all. Calliope puts Del Ponde's arm around her shoulder and she says, clear the way. I'll help him out. And then Theron had done his action to start this. Between Trill and Penthea. Trill?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I want to say this is in the spirit of the game, but you let me know. Can I use... So my secondary weapon is a whip.
Okay.
Can I use my disarming cuteness to use my whip to try to wrap around the blunderbuss and literally disarm him?
Sure.
If I say
Disarming
something cute
cuteness.
while I'm doing it.
Yeah, go ahead, Trill. Now, one thing I do want to do, let you know your options. So Kane is standing there on the stairs. Normally you won't be able to pass him, but you can basically force your way past him, push him out of the way, and get running up the stairs to get to the other ship if you want. Staying here might not be very safe because there's 30 plus soldiers on this ship. And so you'd be overwhelmed if you stay. So any moments spent down here might be dangerous. To get rushed by him, it would take you... Check here. It's a agility... No. Yeah, it's an agility 14 to just move right by him up a floor if you want to do that too. And that'd be an action roll. Or you can kill him and then go up that way. So, Trill, go ahead.
Okay. So let me expend my hope and roll that roll. Token is selected.
I'm going to grab this action tracker and move it down where you guys can all see it.
So I think... Oh, that's a crit!
That's
Plus
a crit.
3.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you're trying
So
to
I
disarm
say,
him, right? Yeah. You take the blunderbuss right out of his hand.
And I whip it out of his hand.
It slides across the deck into your feet. You can also move your speed 30 feet. And then next to it will be Panthea. Oh, and also you clear, you get a hope and you clear a stress. And Panthea, your
sweet.
turn. The
Back
captain
during-
is still armed. He does still have a cutlass. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Back during dinner when she pulled out the astrolabe and like now here, do I get the sense that Melandra might not be like into this? At least that's the sense I'm getting as a player, but I don't know if that's intentional.
It's
She
Like,
created the device
it's
where
murky.
this guy powered the
Yeah.
ship.
it's murky.
Yeah.
You don't know if the device maybe could be used voluntarily, and it's just the captain that's forcing this turtle basically into slavery to use it, or if it could be used involuntarily. So you don't know for sure.
Oh.
You don't know if you should save her or let her stay here.
Yeah, I'm going to believe in the best in people. I'm gonna go over to Melandra, who is cowering, and I'm going to say, you do not have to remain here and be a pawn of this. I have seen dark magic used, and you do not have to continue doing this for this captain who has obviously lost his way. Come with us, help us, and you're a talented wizard mage, and you're capable of greater things that do not require enslaving others.
Okay. You need to make a presence roll, DC 14, to convince her to go with you.
Okay, DC 14.
14 presence roll.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to look.
You still have the bardic thing too, if you want to use that.
I think I used it.
Oh, okay. I'll take that off.
I used the bardic thing. Yeah, how many times can I add? I can only add experience once.
You can only add an individual experience once. You can add different experiences to the same roll. Just you have to spend 1 hope per experience.
Well, I think both curious about magic and wise beyond her years apply here. So
You bet.
so I will use 2 experience for that.
Okay.
Okay, and then still figuring out the rolls. This is just a general skill roll, right?
Correct.
So
No.
I have a thing.
Yikes.
So I have a thing. Adaptability from my ancestry.
Oh, right.
When you
Human
fail a
thing.
roll that utilized experience, you can mark a stress to reroll.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it would be nice if it's better.
Definitely
It
better.
is, but with
It
fear.
is.
It succeeds now with fear.
Yes.
So as you succeed, and it was an action, so I'll remove an action over, add a fear over. You can see her inner soul like trying to decide, and finally she just kind of like sighs, and you can tell that she's on your side, and she wants to get out of there with you. But Kane draws his cutlass and moves over, you no good little mechanized piece of, and then lets his cutlass down on Trill.
Bring it on!
Oh, you're getting it now.
Okay, he will use his saber at +3 on the attack roll, and he's going to use. I think they use stress to do their experiences. He'll use his intimidation experience to get +2 on that roll. 20 + 5, so 15 to hit Trill, doing 3d10 + 4, 26
Ouch.
physical damage.
Oh no.
Well, I think I'll just take that.
I took an action out of him, and he's done. Okay, next to go, Ruin.
Owie.
So 2 thoughts. Do we know, is the way out of here clear?
It is. You
Okay,
know
so it's
you
not-
should be
it's
able to
not
go
a-
back up the steps the way you came
Yep.
and run for the ship.
Okay, then I won't need to scout. So what I'll do is I'll say, I will hold him here, and I will urge you all to leave, and I will change into a huge moose.
Nice.
Yes.
And I'll go right up to the captain and tank. So I will and I'll attack him. I assume that when I attack it, I think I remember something like you don't have to kill your target or something like that.
I think you don't have to, yeah.
So I'm not looking to kill him, but I'm gonna try to beat him down. And so I can roll to attack. Yeah, there's my moose. And let's see, so I'm in a beast form. I take a stress, and now I have. Let's see, when I make damage for an attack. So what I do for just a normal beast attack? I do like a strength.
I think it's on the card for the beast card.
Let's see. Let me look.
Or
at
it's
my
on the
beast
druid
option.
character sheets, I think.
So it says, as a brutish beast, I get +1 strength. Oh, melee strength D10 physical. Okay. So I just make a strength check.
There you
so
go.
That is
Attack, strength, D6 physical, yeah. And your strength's
That's
+1. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is going to be,
13. Is that right?
I think 13. That should be right.
With
And
fear, unfortunately.
unfortunately, the captain is a 16 difficulty.
Ah, he's good.
He is quick.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm here to
But
stop him.
Ruin
not
is
to say
awesome.
So that'll be a
Ah.
fear token and an action token. Oh,
All right, and I get
Reassurance,
to
yeah.
re-roll.
go for it.
All right, so I'll re-roll. I also should.
So I'll take
I'll
that
go
fear
ahead and
back off.
I'm going to spend a hope to because I sense that the end of things is coming, and I'll add another 1 to it.
Okay.
All right, let's see if this goes. Oh boy!
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, no.
Wow,
That
But
real
at least
bad.
it's with hope. So you gain a hope.
I do gain a hope.
And since you missed, I'm not gonna
Yep,
add it
I
up.
did not. I did not hit, and I will just sit there tanking him.
You're taking him there. That's ruined. Melvin, you haven't gone. Do you still not want to go?
I'm gonna go.
You go for it.
Yeah, no, he hurt Trill, so I'm gonna hurt him.
Okay.
I will spend
Okay.
6 hope and hit him with an arcane barrage.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
There should be an arcane barrage button. Book of
Oh.
Iliad, arcane barrage, right by
Or
your
I could
domain.
just roll 66.
Yep. Either way.
20.
20 points
Oh.
of damage to him.
Yeah.
His warded officer's coat flashes, knocks one of those down, so he takes 17 damage. 17 is his major threshold, so he's going to take 2 hit points.
Okay. And I'm going to move as well. What I want to try to do is move in between him and Trill. Can I do that?
Sure.
All right.
Put
I'm
Trill back.
tiny. I'm
Okay.
small.
Then we have
So am
Kalai.
I. Yeah, we could probably fit in the same square.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Calliope is going to basically rush Del Pond up 1 floor. So I'm going to just move them up 1 floor. As you guys got him out of the way, she thanks you as she goes by. She says, "With me," as she leaves. Del Pond's gone. Melandra's going to go with Panthea, so she won't go this round. This round kind of resets. Everyone think if you want to go right away or not.
I think Trill should go first and run up the stairs.
Yeah, I was definitely going to use that as my action. So if everyone's okay with me doing that now, I'm going to be like,
Please
meow.
do.
Okay. You can run up the stairs as your turn, basically on the heels of Calliope. And then Theron.
All right. The idea of the moose getting all the fun is just too much for Theron.
Sure.
So what I'm imagining here is that Theron runs up behind the moose, leaps up onto the moose's back, and then steps up onto the antlers and's like kind of balancing himself on the antlers for a second, and raises that sword in between. Raises that sword and goes, of all the things you could have been, Captain, a slaver is like the worst choice you could have picked. And he's going to bring that great sword down onto the captain. I'm not trying to kill the captain, but I am trying to
Okay.
very, very, maybe a concussion.
Let him have it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, that's a nice hit.
Nice.
So and then that's 21. I am gonna go ahead and I get hope, but I'm instead gonna mark a Slayer dice. So that puts me at 3. Okay. And then I'm going to actually spend one of my hope to also basically headbutt. I'm using the Tusk ability, but I'm also headbutting. So to that 21, let's go ahead and add another d6. Dang it, 22.
All right. He actually has a high severe threshold, so that's major. He takes 2 more damage.
And then I'll hop up off the antlers down to here.
Okay. I'm going to use a fear token to take an action right now. Or GM move.
Sure.
Player rolls of fear, player rolls of failure. does something that would have consequences. Okay. So he's going to go with a counterattack on you with his cutlass. And that is going to be, he'll spend another stress to get his +2 intimidation. No, he won't. He's not intimidating you. So it'll just be a d20 +3. Oh, you might have dodged it. 6.
Ooh.
That is my armor. Or no, evasion, right? It's against
9.
evasion.
Evasion's 9. Yeah, you dodge out of the way of that. I already spent the action. Back to you guys. Panthea.
I'm gonna move again in the direction of the moose.
Okay.
By the moose, on the
Okay.
moose, in the moose's legs. And I'm going to cast Shadowbind, and the shadows of the moose's large antlers are suddenly going to turn into like shadowy tentacles and try to grab Kane.
That's awesome.
Whoa!
That's
Yeah.
awesome. You can do that with advantage.
And,
Oh, I don't think. How does that work? Do you even roll? I think you do. So you
Yeah.
can roll it with advantage.
Shadowbind is
So add a d6 to that, right?
is 15 enough?
Yep, you got him. Well, with the d6, you got him. So he is restrained by the shadows of the moose antlers, and that's a roll with fear,
Wow.
unfortunately. So he's going to spend another action to swing that cutlass around toward that moose. Gets a critical hit on the moose.
Oh no!
I think the critical hit's going to be 36 plus, so I'm sure it's going to be over your severe threshold.
Yep.
What's that do?
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, my threshold is higher, but I don't think that's gonna. Let me see what this is. So my threshold is +2 in this form. So that means my threshold is 18. Is that right?
18.
Does
Okay.
it go up?
Yeah, he did 36 plus 3d12 damage. So
No.
So then I can spend. Let's see. What does it say about armor? It says something. Armor is not my armor, but each form has an armor score that replaces my normal armor. So my armor is 6, so that's good.
that is good.
So-
Okay, let me roll the damage. You might be able to reduce it some here. So this is /r space 3d10 plus 4. So it's 30 plus this. So 45.
45. So my armor is still reducing each by my armor score, I think 5, I'm guessing. No, my armor score is 6. So now I'm confused. Am I using my normal armor slots, but the new armor score? Is that the idea?
That would have been my
That's-
understanding.
That I think that's what it is. You
think that's
can't
true.
access your armor, but you have. Okay, I think that's right. Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. So I think that's right. So I will spend armor because what was it, 45?
45, yep.
And my hit points, are my hit points still my hit points? I think my hit points are still my hit points. They're trying to avoid the 5e problem. Yeah. And then it does say that if I take too much damage,
If you mark your last hit point or stress point, your form automatically drops.
but is that my beast form's hit points or my hit points? Are
I
they all
think you
the
only
same?
have your hit points, right?
Okay. So I could possibly die and revert out,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then I want 45, huh? That's a
You have to
lot.
get it under 18 to take 2.
Yeah. So if I did 5 times 6 would be 30, would be to 15. So I'd have to spend all my armor and I could take it to 2. Sure. It sounds like what Ruin would do.
Okay.
Rather than
Okay.
take 3 hit points.
Let's see. That was his action and Fierce point, and he's done.
I think you only have to spend 5, right? 'Cause
5.
that would be 30,
Oh, right.
and
Minus
45 minus 30 would
30.
be 15.
Yes, you're right. Thank you. Math. Appreciate it.
Okay. Rune, go ahead.
Is it Ruin again?
Yep.
Okay. I will. So there's still a lot of people around here. So we must take him down. I will really help that. Well, I'll try again. I'll attack once more. So let me see if I can do better. I will sense that this is the end of the captain's time. So I will use my experience by spending a hope. Give me +2, and I'll attack. And that is with fear, 17, a 19 to hit, which should do it.
Yes, it did it.
And then the damage, 2.
That's 1 damage. Okay. Then you roll with Fierce, so he will swing that cutlass again at the moose again.
I'm in your face.
Or-
These antlers aren't fun for you.
Oh god, a
Crit.
crit again.
Oh,
Jesus!
Good grief.
Oh no. Okay. So that's going to be slash R space 3d10 plus 4 plus 30.
There's one thing this captain hates.
55 damage.
All right, so that's more than I have, and spending an armor won't help on that. So because that'd be 50. So I'm gonna mark 3 hit points, which is all my hit points. So let's see what I want to do. I want to can't go unconscious because we need to get out of here. I will.
If you fall unconscious, to revert.
No,
Or
we're,
yeah.
we're thinking it's
moose.
they share the same.
Yeah, when you
But
mark
it's the
your last
same
hit
hit
point,
point.
you go back to your regular form.
So it'd be an unconscious druid.
We could
Um,
probably get you out of here.
I mean, let's see.
Because we have an opportunity to heal you before you go into the death stuff.
No, I think he's dead. If he marks his last hit point, he's also dying, but in human form.
Unless I decide to go unconscious.
Right.
Oh, I see what
right.
you're saying.
Yeah, if you go unconscious,
Let's
then
roll.
they can drag you out,
Yeah.
and you can play Calliope.
You might get a scar.
Ooh.
I'll try it. I'll see what happens.
Okay.
So I'll roll 2d12.
Okay.
And see what happens. I'm dead.
No.
Oh, Ruin dies.
No.
Teos,
I
you
told you it
can
was the last season.
you can look up game rules. You can look up adversaries. Yeah, this is in Daggerheart, and you can look for Calliope Crimson, and you can play Calliope for the rest of the session.
Oh.
Ooh.
It'll be
That's been
weird.
planned the whole time.
Yeah, should have been the plan the whole time. It'll be weird because you'll be using monster rules to play Calliope, which are slightly different than character rules. Okay. That is it. That was a roll with. Well, that was his action to attack you back, and now it is Melvin's turn.
Melvin is going to run over, grab Ruin's body, and try to drag him up the stairs.
Okay. And then Calliope and Del Pond are already up and free. So Calliope's up there waiting for you guys. And I'll reset the round. And who wants to go? Captain Kane is slaying one of you.
I'd like to.
And in so,
so
doing,
there's nothing that we can do for Ruin.
No, Ruin's dead.
Yep.
Just his body's dead. We can talk to him anytime we want.
Wait.
That's really good.
That's my second level. My second level power is final words. I can infuse life into a corpse and speak with it, and it doesn't seem to say that I can only do it once. So
Let's start with the people
Ruin is sticking with the party.
the people who are below. Panthea, are you running up the stairs? Fight.
That was her plan right up until this guy killed one of her friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to take your turn?
So now the plan is unleash chaos.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Go ahead, Panthea.
So I'm gonna unleash chaos. I'm going to use Wandering Weather Witch, and I'm going to use +3 damage for from elemental origin. So that's to hope. And okay. And unleash. So that is 11 plus 2, 13.
And you said you're using some experiences too. How much do they add up to?
Oh, right, experience. Experience is +2, so
15 total? 15 total
hit?
does not make it.
I will use adaptability again. I'll use a stress to reroll. Because this counts as a fail, right?
Yes, that counts as a fail.
Okay, so I'll use a stress to reroll. There we go.
Yeah.
That succeeds
Oh my god, the damage.
with fear. Bad damage roll. But
Wow.
so that total damage is how much? Just 2?
It's 5.
It's 5. Okay, that's enough. That kills him. Down goes Kane.
Nice.
And you guys can rush on up the stairs, emerging up onto the top deck, and make your way toward the ship. But you find when you get up there that there's been some battles ongoing. And Calliope, you're there. The rest of you kind of come up. You can spill out of the top of the stairs wherever you want to be. Calliope and her buddy will be there. And it's not here anymore.
One quick question.
Yeah.
Can I pick up that blunderbuss as I run
Yeah.
up the stairs?
Yeah, you can grab it.
Sweet. Yeah.
Okay.
Mine.
And then let me move this up here. Action tracker. Okay. There's all sorts of fear. As you guys come up the stairs, there is 2 people in your way. The first mate and a Navy tough and 5 soldiers have been beating back the pirate crew. So the pirate crew has not fared well as you guys were gone, and now you're going to have to fight through and or defeat these sailors to get on the ship and get out of here.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone think if you want to go first, put a 2 if you do. Give you a second to think. And it's going to get hairy fast because they got a lot of actions to spend.
Right.
Right.
Well, if you're okay with it, I might so this was like as Melvin was running up with Ruin's body. Upon seeing Ruin's body, Jill becomes very like upset, and a song sort of like unwillingly emanates out of her in reaction. And I'll do, but it is at least soothing, and everybody can take 1 hit point.
Nice. Everyone take off 1 hit point. That was Trill's action. Next to go.
I'd like to go.
Therein, go ahead.
Theron's gonna run up. I'd like to jump from here, jump onto
Yep,
the ship right
you
there.
can do
Is
that, yeah.
possible?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Leap up there. The blunderbuss is on my back. The sword's in my hand, and I look around and I go, "Well, hello, boys," and and ma'am, and then I'm going to this one right here.
Okay.
I'm going for that one.
Okay.
Swing that great sword, getting a pretty decent but fear. 16, 17, 18.
18 is a
attack.
hit.
Yep. We're gonna go ahead and pop one of my super fun Slayer dice. I'm gonna go down to 2 to add an extra d6 to this damage. 1d6. There we go. So 15 points of damage.
15 is his major threshold or above his major, so you do 2 hit points to him.
Well, I didn't love that. Okay, that's it. That's that's it.
And that was your turn with fear. So I got 1 more fear and 1 more action. So I'm at max fear, and I got 6 actions. So I'll spend, they'll go. Okay, so the pirates choose a target. Activate all Navy soldiers within close range of that target. Those minions move into melee with the target and make a 1 shared attack. On a success, 5 damage each. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacking you. And the attack roll
Bring
is,
it on.
the attack roll is at +0, so it's just a straight d20 roll. They get a 17, that's a hit, so it's 25 points of damage.
25 points. Oh, okay, and that's all of them attacking.
That's all of them at once, yeah.
Okay, 25. Let's go ahead and let's burn an armor. Wait, hold on. 25. If I subtract, all right, I'm gonna burn 2 armor.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, burning 2 armor. Real quick. Sorry, orc. 2d6. None of those were a 6, so I have to burn all 2 of them. I take 25. I go down to 13. Yep. So I take 2 points of damage from that. And then I'm going to use retaliate.
Okay.
Retaliation. Since all 1 attack, I assume I just pick one of them and deal free damage to them. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and deal some free damage to the one I already hit. And I'll mark my stress.
That one was not one of the 5 that attacked you.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna go for this one that's nearest to my allies here. Great.
Okay.
And we're going to retaliation. 10 points of damage to that mother hugger.
All right. You cut him down, and not only that, you keep swinging your sword around and cut the next one down as well.
Nice.
Okay, that was your retaliation to their movement. I'm going to spend another action now for the Navy tough north of you is going to spend an action. He's going to try and throw you off the deck.
What?
Actually, he doesn't have a line of effect to do that to you. So he's going to cut you with his cutlass.
What a jerk.
Getting a 12 to hit you for...
Ooh, I'm gonna actually use one of my abilities.
Okay.
Ice called nope, never mind. My apologies.
And then he does 16 damage to you.
16 damage. We're gonna burn 2 more armor slots to try to reduce that down to a minor. Right, 16, 10. Yeah, 2 more armor. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to do this fast, so I'm not taking up all the time. Orc, 2d6. Dang it! Okay, that's fine. I still take 1 point of damage there. So I'm there we go. I'm going to use retaliate, burn a stress, to deal. I keep hitting the button on that.
Ooh, nice.
13 points of damage.
That is going to be... Let's see. He causes you a stress because of his swashbuckler capabilities, so you get a mark of stress. Do you have a stress point to mark?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have stress to burn.
And then he is going to be taking major damage, so 2 more. He's on his... not in good shape. Then this last guy, Kaless, the ship's first mate, says the captain didn't like you small ones anyway. He's going to try and push Melvin off the deck. So he's going to clear the decks as an action, make an attack against a target within very close range. Moving into melee with them. On his success, mark of stress, deal 3d10 damage. So he's a mark of stress. And do 3d10. And push you off the deck. We'll see what recourse you have if he hits. /d20.
Maybe yelling to Panthera.
Oh, but he only rolled a 2. You dodge it, little Melvin.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, Melvin doesn't dodge anything. It says in the rules that as evasion, you can choose the
Yeah,
thematics
you can.
for it.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
What Melvin just freezes up in combat. He doesn't move at all, but he's very lucky. So something unlucky happened to this guy, causing him to.
Glass trips.
I probably stumbled, and he pushed right where my head used to be.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
That is all of them. So back to you guys, and looks like Panthea. Go ahead.
So you were saying something.
If you'll allow it, I was hoping to yell out to Panthea. Can you wing me next to Theron? I don't think I can reach that ship just running on my little legs. But if you don't want to, that's totally fine.
No, I can. It can only be on one person at a time, but I don't think Theron's using it at the moment. So,
I'm fine.
yeah. So I will switch wall walk to you when I find it. Wall walk. Okay. So you have that now. It costs me a hope. That's not an action. I will... You know what? I will move over here and maybe provide a different target for these people, but I'm gonna attack Kalis. And I will just hit him with the dual staff. Nothing special staff. There we go.
That's a hit with hope.
That's
Pretty
gotta hit.
special.
15 damage. He does cause you to mark a stress, Panthea, because he's a swashbuckler, and if you don't do enough damage to him, you mark a stress, but he does take 2 hit points damage. Okay. That was Panthea. Melvin.
You have no honor, Kalis.
Calliope, I added you to the initiative there, in case you want to go to any time.
Melvin will move here because he doesn't want to be pushed off the side.
Okay.
And I haven't used my magic wand yet. So I lift up my magic wand and I'm going to shoot one of these guys back here. And I go, pew, pew. All right, wand. So I'm seeing 7, 8, 9, 10. That's probably a miss.
10 is a miss, but with hope, so you get a hope. But now I take the actions back. And we got 3 guys on Theron going to take an action to attack you again, Theron. They are attacking at +0.
Good freaking luck.
Holy cow, they got a crit.
No, I didn't mean actual good luck.
So 30 points damage, Theron.
Well, first I hate that. Here's a question about the thresholds. Is it they have to overcome my threshold, or if they
have to
need
equal it? Yeah, if they equal it, you take that damage.
I don't have enough armor to reduce that below severe.
Oh no.
The damage levels are no joke on this. At this level.
No, it's definitely not. I'm desperately trying to see if I have anything that can save me, because I think I'm about to go down and go down hard.
And there's no way for us to intervene with abilities on our end.
I don't know of any unless you have something.
I mean, I can yell some inspirational words to you that would heal you a little bit.
Okay, what are my death options again?
You can go unconscious. You can roll
on the Blaze of Glory.
Roll randomly,
but you get a crit.
Yeah.
Or take your chances.
And going unconscious does what?
There's a chance you'll get a scar, but otherwise, basically, you're out until you're healed.
Okay.
So it's nice when you have healers in the party. You know, you're just going to be out for a short time. I think you come right back as soon as you're healed. Let me double check. I think you have a chance for a scar either way. Avoid death, face consequences, drop unconscious, You may not move or act while you turn when an ally clears one or more of your marked hit points. Yeah, so if you go unconscious, then a healer can heal you right after that.
I'll go unconscious.
Okay.
I'll take the safe route. I've already felt the sting of death in that dream I had.
Yeah. Made you more
So-
wary.
So roll. Now you got to roll to see if you get a scar. So roll a D12, and you want to roll 3 or higher. No, so you got a scar. So what that does is you lose 1 hope permanently. So the max hope you can have now is 5.
Oh. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, I know.
Trust me, you don't care about your hope total when you die. It doesn't, you no longer care about it. So.
Yep. Okay, so Theron's down. They just went to do that to Theron, taking one of their actions. Then Kalis is going to try and take Melvin out with a cutlass. So Melvin, this is a D20 plus 2. You got an 8. Do you evade that?
Yeah. So he has gotten unlucky somehow.
His cutlass is stuck in the main mast.
The mast swung around and knocked his saber away from hitting me.
And then finally, the Navy Tough south of Panthea is going to take the last action that they have available. And he is going to try and attack her. Same attack modifier. 12 versus your evasion, Panthea?
9, so he'll hit.
Okay, 2d12 plus 2 physical. 15 physical.
15 physical.
Yeah.
My severe threshold is 14, so I'll use 1 point of armor to take 2 damage.
All right. They have used up all their actions. Calliope. That'd be you, Chaos.
All right. Yep. So I will. So if I was looking at Calliope's info when this was first described, so are those all enemies there on that ship?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
the 3 to the west of Theron are enemies, but the 5 below are her crew.
Okay.
So don't
And
attack
they
the
are
5.
gonna act, or do I need to tell them to act?
You could tell them to act. Yeah.
All right.
They can
I will
come back into
definitely
the fight.
shout at them to help out.
They come back into the
help-
fight, and what'll happen is
Yeah.
these guys will be fighting each other out, and then these two will come in here and drag Theron back.
Excellent.
And so now you just have to
Oh.
deal with Kalis and the Navy Tough.
All right, that's pretty sweet. Then I will. I want to use my grapple thing. Can I bring the captive with me?
Yeah, you bet.
So I fire at kind of a point over here, and so I'll try to attack the person that's in the way with that, since my grapple swing allows me to do that. So I
Okay.
shoot up a grappler to a spot within close range. I swing to it from up to far range. I may make an attack at the target in her path.
Nice.
So 2d12. Let's just see what that's like. Ooh,
Oh,
crit.
crit. Holy cow.
Nice.
So that
There's
is,
pluses, but we don't care.
yeah, that's 24 plus 3d8 plus 2 damage.
Yeah.
And the 3d8's automatically maxed, right?
Yeah, that's why it was 24 plus 3d8 plus 2.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's going to be way beyond severe for the guy in your way, and you take him out. Now you only have Kalis left. You can move to where you
Swing
exactly you
across
want to be,
there.
Calliope.
And look cool doing it.
Nice. And you gained a hope, and that was just 1 action. Okay, I'm going to spend a fear as Kalis sees things are not going their way. Jump into the fight here and attack Melvin again. He's getting frustrated with Melvin's luck. Again, he misses.
Yeah.
Yeah, now his saber's just caught in the rigging, and I'm just standing there shivering, right in the path of his. He's like, just die!
Trill, your turn.
All right. Trill begins running on her little toddler legs and watches that happen. And is like, "Oh, that's embarrassing for you," and leaps onto this ship with like walking on the walls. And well, and I guess it's more important. I'll be like, "Sherwin, you're the best of us. You're the strongest of us. Come back to us." And I will. I think I can do this up and I won't. Should I do all 3 or just 2? It'll automatically add 2 tokens to the action tracker.
Okay.
But I can heal you 2 hit points. I'll do that
Okay.
using inspirational words. Oh, keep 1 in the bank.
Theron gets. You just hear Theron mumbling. I don't know about that, all that, but thanks.
And like, so the way it's written on the card, I just want to make sure I understand the mechanics of this. I'm allowed to put 3 tokens. It's like one of my domain cards. on this card equal to my presence score. So there's 3 tokens on it.
Okay.
And when I recite the inspirational words, I can spend a token to choose an option from the list below to grant an ally that you're speaking to. If the action tracker is active, place the tokens on it. So I have a pool of 3 and I've just used 2, but it never actually says I've taken an action. Can I still take an action?
You're spending a token. Yeah, that's not an action. Oh, you did
Okay.
spend. You did. Oh, actually, spend token. Place on action track. Oh, yeah. You can keep going though.
Okay. Well, if it's allowable, then I might run up and I think I have and attack this 1/1.
Oh no. Those are all allies now. There's no one on the ship who isn't a friend.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Then I'll just join them.
Just join them. Okay. No.
Sorry, I thought the back two were the.
Yeah. No. You're all. The only person you have left is the first mate.
Oh,
There's more soldiers pouring on, so you want to get out of there, but only the first mate right now.
Okay, gotcha. I'll leave that to other folks.
Okay. Melvin. I'm going in the order of how
Melvin
close you are to the first mate.
grabs Ruin's body. Come on, Ruin! We're getting out of here! And I drag him onto the ship.
You see him like dragging like refuse and stuff, and bits of leaves and things are falling off as he does, leaving a trail. And then Panthea, you can get out of there too, and you guys will be victorious.
All right.
And I'll revive Ruin for a moment just to let him know, hey, we won! What do you think about that?
As the last of the pirates retreat to the Crimson Cloud, the pirates remove the grapplers, pull the ship away while you fend off the few soldiers daring enough to try to pursue. And now you have freed the turtle from the silver engine. Windfall has no chance of catching you. The Navy ship soon disappears beyond the horizon.
Huzzah.
When it fades from view, Del drops to the deck, exhausted, the turtle Galapa. The pirates invite you to take your rest with them as they see to the damage from the battle. Del addresses you and says, "Thank you again for saving me. I don't know how much longer I could have survived that accursed thing." Melandra is beyond sorry for what she has done to him, and you have saved her from a life of crime and horrible treatment of others, so that's something to be very proud of. A short while later, Calliope thanks you again and promises to deliver you to your destination. "But first, I have an offer for you," she says. "Kane is looking for Captain K's treasure, but we're going to beat him to it. Care to join us?" And that is the end.
Absolutely, I say to myself.
Yeah. I cast final words. What do you think? Should we do it, Ruin?
Totally.
Yeah.
It matters. We're all
We
going to die someday.
The knights, or the pirates reward you all with a leaf amulet. When you touch the leaf to your lips while falling, it prevents all falling damage. After one use, the leaf goes brown and crumbles to dust. So 1 use prevention of all falling damage. And then they also give you each a weapon from their inventories, and these weapons can be a tier 1 primary weapon, whichever one you prefer.
Ooh.
Things like a siphoning dual staff, a fine hair bow, devastating battle axe, etc.
Is anybody else just super excited now that this group gets like a tiebreaker in the form of the corpse of their friend? Ruin, we need you, buddy.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like isn't that just Melvin getting 2 votes?
Ruin says the following, the thing that I voted for. Again.
Such weekend at burning Ruin. Oh no.
There you go.
thank you everyone for playing. That was awesome.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yes,
Yeah, that
thank
was
you.
fun.
Thank you for
Very
running.
interesting.
Really interesting,
I'm
the
impressed
death
at the
mechanics,
damage
isn't
levels.
Yeah, the one I wonder if the damage levels are too high because it seems that so often it's like, way above your severe.
it? Yeah. I did roll a lot of crits. So.
Yeah,
Well,
the crits are
like-
something else.
I mean, I guess I feel like maybe like the fact that anything that's high just ends up equaling severe is maybe why it's capable of going that high, because it doesn't
Yeah.
ultimately
there is an
matter
optional
that it goes that
rule.
high.
There's an optional rule where it's double your severe is 4 hit points of damage. Some of those would have got there,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh wow, that would have been.
Unfortunate. Okay, yeah, that's different.
There is,
It
yeah.
also seems like the GM has a lot of control over how hard a combat is based on how long you sit on those action tokens.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
It's going to take the it's going to take me a long time to get used to it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
like
whole
if you had
different way of
spent all
playing.
those action tokens, I think you could have wiped us out.
I know, it's a whole different way of playing. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I kept picking up, every time that they were talking about it in their videos and things like that, was just how, I think the goal truly is like a lot of role play and like cinematic scenes.
yeah,
So, like I feel like it's on the GM to like pick when a super dramatic moment would require a lot of actions, or when it makes more sense for things to just be like happening back and forth.
There's a lot of things for a GM to have to think about at once.
Yeah.
There's
And
a lot of
I
things
gotta
for the-
say, I would be like, just as somebody who's used to running D&D as a DM and finding that, already uses all my capacity. I'm thinking I would
Mhm.
find it difficult, right? Like
Mhm.
stressful.
it's
I think
very
it'll
easy
all
to forget
settle.
things. But at
Yeah.
the same time, even though it's very easy to forget things, it's also within your purview to just forget things. Like just not to do things, right? And so it's like you don't have to necessarily feel bad if you forgot something. Like you forgot you could have taken an action just then, because you can just take an action whenever you want. And it relies on good players. I mean, you guys were great because, like you're saying, Aaron, it's a lot about the cinematics and the role playing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And also, we're all talking about like it's easy to forget things. It's or there's a lot to have to remember. At the same time, we've all only played this once or twice.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of that like becomes more familiar and more easy to deal with practice.
Yeah, if you're playing the same character week after week after week, you'd
Mhm.
kind of know everything you could do.
That's the thing. The more I look into Daggerheart, I feel like it will. You'll start to understand it more and more, and then I think it would reach that point where it would become really exciting, where you would have all these synergies. You know what to do in which situation. You start to really understand the tools of the game, the tools your character has, and that could be really fun, right? Like I'm still like, I don't know when to use Beast Heart or when to do,
Yeah.
all these various things, and the action economy is a big part of it too, because if I can take two actions in rapid succession, then I can heal somebody with one action, limited by my hope because it costs a lot of hope. But then at least I can be healing, and then I could attack. It could all work. There's a lot there to play around with.
I was
Yeah.
also really impressed with Demi playing. Like, not only was it easy to make the character, but just here playing, everything's laid out really easily. It's easy to keep track of everything as we played. Like, if I was to play this in person, I think I would still use a tablet and just use Demi playing, because I think it works really well.
I'm going to cut that little snippet out. And
what they need is a Beyond 20 like extension.
I know. I was looking for that.
Thinking the same thing.
I was looking for that. I couldn't find anything. I don't think one exists yet.
Somebody will make one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but once they get the real game out, then that'd be a good time.
To what you were saying, Teos, about the action economy, and even what you were saying at break, it's like, if somebody could have rushed over to heal somebody. For me, that's when it kind of clicked. I think that's why they did the initiative the way they did, because that's like the first thing that kind of explains it. Because if initiative was set, we wouldn't have had that option.
Right.
Yeah, I would be interested in playing it where we're not each all taking a turn and then each all taking a turn again, because I think that they actually like want you to maybe have somebody take more turns or less turns based on what fits.
Yeah,
right.
Like I think that's where somebody could do, where really everybody could have said like, yeah, we're gonna just run up the stairs, leave the moose behind, and it'll work because you can take however many actions you sort of need to kind of do those things you want to do. And since it's, and so unless the GM wants to say, well, some folks show up on the stairs, right, to stop you, then you will do that. And it also means someone could do something like one person could run up the stairs a bunch and go start taking on the others, right? Or something like that. Like
I gotta say, the moose did not. The mechanics of the moose did not impress as much as the visual. It's like, my god,
damage,
moose. And then it's like, I miss or I hit and I do almost no damage. I'm like, what kind of moose is this?
I'm not sure the beast forms do a whole lot at what they're trying to do.
The brute beast form.
Like what's
Needs to be stronger.
Like you want to understand why it would be worth to change into it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're trying to.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like one of the other things that I feel like the loose initiative can really help do is like combo moves.
Mhm.
Of course, it takes, I think, learning all the other party members that you're playing with and like what they're capable of. But I really liked that like it turned into the moose, and then the moose's antlers became like spectral tentacles. Like that visual was really
That was
really
cool,
to
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I was looking at the forums, and it is very interesting. You know, they're trying to give you the ability to do the sort of scout stuff that is a little bit hard to do in D&D, because that can be largely me and be like a flying creature, or I can be a mouse. And like in a mouse, I could have, like, if Tom had said, you don't know if the way ahead is clear, what I would have done is turned into a mouse, and I can go all the way to far range as a scouting in one action. And so I could have like done that and then come back and said, yeah, like here's the way to go, right? Like go up the steps, go to the left, go up, you know. I could have scouted that all out, which would have been kind of fun. But combat wise, it feels like they're trying to not cause the 5e problems of endless hit points and stuff like that. So it's largely my stats and, like, you know, giving me a +1 to my strength. I have a 0 strength, so you're not doing a whole lot for me there.
Yeah, that's some moose that is. Yeah.
You know, and +2 to threshold sounds good on paper, but then it's like, well, when you get that much damage from an enemy.
And do they provide you just a certain selection? Like, how did you know moose was an option?
So yeah, it's a certain selection, and you get more by level, and it does. I'll paste it into the chat, but there's the Demiplane has a nice integration. You can actually select your beast form, and then it shows up. Let me paste it into the. So you can see this is what it looks like when I'm in beast form. It just tells me information. So I have advantage on certain skills. I have a damage level, the armor score thing that we figured out, but I have my same evasion, so my evasion's terrible. And then if I did roll a 6 on an attack, then I would be able to keep attacking. But my, you know, the rest is basically it's just my stats, right? So my normal strength of 0 becomes +1. My damage thresholds become +2.
I mean, if mechanically this is what they want, I almost think they should have less intimidating forms. Because it just seems silly. On the moose, I do 2 points of damage.
You know what we might have missed is, I think, would your proficiency bonus apply there? So it'd be 2d10 at your level?
Oh, maybe.
That'd help a little, at least.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they do that even though it's level 2.
Generally, what they've been doing is if it's one die, it'd be 1d10. If it's proficiency dice, it's blank d10.
Okay.
This also, here's a question for you, Tom.
Yeah.
The way that the actions work, right? So, like, when we give you actions in Fear to work with, are you limited by how many you can spend at once before it's one of our turns again?
Just until I run out. No, not limited.
So that reminds me a lot of the Zweihander fake coin mechanic. It's just interesting because it creates that dread moment, right? You know, the more actions we're giving you, the more of a chance you have to just pop off and just rain hell on us. And I think it's cool. I'm thankful you didn't use it like that.
Well, yeah, I was trying to be fair in that I wasn't having them go through the whole cycle multiple times. That's why I didn't, because when I had 5 fear, every one of those fear I could have turned into 2 more actions, and then. But I was only going to do all of them one time. I mean, it's extremely unfair to have one character go, then all the enemies, then one more character, then all the enemies.
Yeah. I was looking at, like, I have this slumber ability, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, actually, mechanically, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Because if you, so you make the roll, the guy, if you succeed, they might fall unconscious, but they can wake up with 1 fear.
Yeah.
So if I make the attack with fear, all I've done is given them an action.
Yeah.
Right. And if I fail, then I've given them an action and maybe a fear as well.
Yeah.
So there's only if I roll with hope do I break out even.
Yeah. And this is toned down from the way it used to be too.
Yeah.
A little toned down.
Yeah, it's really quite bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, given that
you should never use that.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like, do they expect us to sort of like
well, again, the GM can just not use that fear or action or whatever, because but mechanically, slumber at best you break out even, and more likely the DM comes out ahead.
Right.
Yep, they definitely need to balance that.
But if we wanted to not let the enemies be flush with resources in terms of all of these actions or fears that they build up, is it basically on the players to just be my character takes a moment to assess the situation, and if it just everybody sort of did that, would it essentially force the DM to be oh, well, in that breathing space, I'll use up just these 2 actions that I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it does say, in the advice for the GMs, if the players are looking for what happens next, you should go. So exactly what you're saying.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So I guess there's ways where you can role play a more balanced back and forth, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And it does certainly mean that if you take an action and you are doing very little with it, that is empowering the GM.
Right.
But what's interesting is, if you think of Critical Role, they do that sort of stuff all the time, right? They'll just not do much. My character cowers,
and the GM can just choose not to do anything with that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If you finish a combat and the GM is sitting on a whole bunch of actions, well, they let you in, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably their vision for kind of how it's rolling.
I think it will work very well for Critical Role themselves, because it'll play well on video.
Well, and that's the idea, is that the GM is orchestrating things based on what makes sense and choosing when to create tension and when not to, while also reflecting what the characters have as interests, which you hopefully learn more and more of as you're playing, which is very hard online. But
I thought it was very fun that I said that pirate was a good pirate before we even got into any.
Yeah, when you were saying that, I thought, oh, this is perfect. All right, guys. Well,
say that.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Will.
Oh, I was just going to say, from a personal note, I always look for our fighters interesting, and the warrior delivers. In my opinion, it was a lot of fun to play that. I did not feel like, oh man, I wish I had magic like everybody else. I'm like, no, this felt great.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna head off to Memorial Day weekend. Have a good weekend, everyone.
All right, thanks.
Everybody, take care. Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice meeting everyone.
Bye.
Nice meeting all of you.
See you later.
Thank you, Tom.